the Odyssey app. You can also stream this show online. YouTube is my preferred method. We have a lot to get into in today's show. It is going to be a very busy 2 o'clock hour. Mike Pereira, who is the official rules analyst of Fox Sports, is going to be on the show coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll get his thoughts on the controversy from a couple of days ago. We're also going to be joined by Sean Pendergast, who does mornings in Houston. We'll get their reaction to the divisional round. Mitch Holus is going to join us in studio. Patrick Mahomes will be on the show this week. He will be on the show tomorrow. Just want to give you guys an itinerary of what we have planned. We also have the Crybaby Olympics coming up in the 3 o'clock hour as well. We do not have any pizzas to give away today. We are still working on it behind the scenes, but I would like for you to listen every day at 2 o'clock. I also want you to tell one friend to check out the show. I'm coming in a little bit more perturbed than I should be coming off a Chiefs win. And why I'm perturbed really has nothing to do with the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys know I've been here every day, haven't missed the Chiefs playoff game once. And I can't remember a time when the Chiefs beat their opposition and the tone was, hey man, you guys got it. You guys were the better team. You were the more disciplined team. You executed better. We got to throw our hands up, or we have to give you guys a standing ovation. You beat us fair and square. That is never the energy when the Chiefs win. We usually got to get out the violins, and we got to pack up the excuse train, and we got to figure out all of these different ways and why you lost, except the obvious. You weren't good enough to win. I'm sitting here and I'm listening to every leader on the Houston Texans nonstop make excuses. C.J. Stroud, who I defended all last week. DeMeco Ryans, who I think is a very good head coach who played this game at the absolute highest level. Joe Mixon, one of the better running backs in the league. Will Anderson, who played phenomenal on Saturday. All I heard was a parade of excuses. A Macy's Day, Thanksgiving level, Rose Bowl parade of excuses from the opposition. Not once did I hear hey man, they got it. That's why that team is a dynasty. That's why they've won the last couple of Super Bowls. They execute better than we do. And if we want to get to where they're at next year, we got to execute a little bit better. I've seen more energy directed at the officials than themselves. And I'm frustrated because I think the media is letting them do it. People are letting Houston off the hook for simply not being good enough on Saturday. And that's not how sports are supposed to work. You guys have heard me say this, that complaining and crying about the officials is the free space of loser bingo. Every time, oh, well, it was the officials. If they had done this, you still would have lost. Why are we letting Houston off the hook for letting their quarterback get sacked 8 times? You've got a franchise generational quarterback. Let you guys tell it. He was on his back constantly all afternoon. Why is that not the conversation? Why is the tone of this is that Houston didn't do enough to protect its quarterback and keep their quarterback upright for them to make plays in order to give themselves a chance to beat Kansas City? But no, it's the officials, right? How is it the officials' fault that Houston forgot to guard one of the greatest postseason players in the history of sports? Not just the NFL, basketball, football, lacrosse, college football, track, swimming, one of the greatest postseason big game players of all time, and they forgot that he was on the team. I don't know how you forgot. Turn on television. He's in the State Farm commercials. He's hosting a television show on Amazon. He's also got another show on FX. You guys forgot Travis Kelce was still in the league? That's how you played on Saturday. You guys know how many games Travis Kelce has played in. You guys know how many postseason games he's played in. Did you know on the long catch in the middle of the field in the second quarter, it was the most open that Travis Kelce has ever been in a playoff game? How does that happen? When you guys watch all that film, you tell me that football players and football coaches watch. You guys didn't notice number 87? We're just going to leave him open? You guys were covering Juju Smith-Schuster. That's what it was. Oh, well, you know what? He didn't get a catch. Your plan worked. Hollywood Brown didn't have a catch. No, if your plan was to stop Hollywood Brown and let Travis Kelce beat you, you succeeded. Why are we letting Houston off the hook for not playing good enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? I hear all the time from football coaches how it's a three-pronged attack, how you got to win offense, defense, and special teams. Houston missed 2 field goals. Houston missed an extra point. Houston gave up a kick return that gift-wrapped the first points of the game. That has something to do with the officials. The officials made Kai Fairbairn miss. The officials helped Leo Chenal block the kick. Houston's last 3 possessions on Saturday, punt, turnover on downs because of a sack, and a blocked field goal. You didn't do enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's okay. The beautiful thing about sports is you'll get another chance tomorrow. Houston, you'll have another opportunity to win a Super Bowl. You're just not winning this one. You're not good enough. We used to tell people that, and you got to be better. Sometimes you probably have told your kid, you know what, man, sometimes there's going to be people out there that's better than you are, but you got to keep trying. You got to keep working hard at it. That's what I'm telling Houston. You got to keep trying. You got to keep working hard at it. These other teams that convince themselves that there's some conspiracy going on, they're not even listening to logic. This is Walt Anderson. Guy was an NFL official for 30 years. Guy works for NFL Network. Maybe you think I'm biased. Born and raised in Kansas City, host of afternoons in Kansas City, interview Patrick Mahomes. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Will you listen to a longtime official that was asked about this?
I think you said the right word there, it seems like, because whether it seems like it or not, officials have to call based on what they see. Now, when a player goes to the ground, he doesn't even have to be touched. He's down. And what happens here is when you can see, and yes, the 2 players end up colliding, but right here, this is the shot. When number 39 comes in and his hairline of his helmet strikes the helmet of the runner who is already on the ground, that's a foul. And even if replay assist could help in that, when there's contact like that, that's not going to be changed by replay assist, even if the committee decides to add that for next year.
Houston's frustration is misplaced. The NFL has been very, very consistent over the last 10 to 15 years that they are in the business of protecting quarterbacks. And that protection extends inside the pocket, like the hit on Will Anderson. It also extends when Mahomes leaves the pocket and becomes a runner. I know the rules. You know the rules. The only people that don't seem to have a great grasp and understanding of the rules are the Houston Texans. I don't have any fire or disrespect towards Houston. Houston is exactly what I thought they were. I've been telling you guys all season that there is a difference between a Super Bowl team and a playoff team. Houston is a playoff team. In the most important game of the season, Houston scored 1 touchdown. Houston, in the most important game of the season, missed 2 field goals and had an extra point blocked in the game. They gave 7 points away. Just gave them away. Here, Kansas City, we don't need them. We're just going to give them to you. The very simple fact of the matter is Houston wasn't good enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And that doesn't have anything to do with the officials. That doesn't have anything to do that Patrick Mahomes is 7-0 and this official is the game. The rest of the league, they just need to accept that you're not good enough to beat Kansas City. That they've been doing this to you for 5 years, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. And if you want to do something about it, play better. Block better. Make your kicks, defend kickoff returns and punt returns better. Protect the football. Run better. Get better players. That is the simple solution to all of these things. But I'm tired of having to do an open to justify the complaining of all these other teams. It is the free space of loser bingo. Oh, man, they cheated us, man. The league just want to see the golden boy win all the championships. You telling me that you think there's a conspiracy for the 27th biggest market in the NFL to keep winning? When the Cowboys haven't won anything since 1996, the Giants stink, the Raiders in Las Vegas stink. You think that the great folks at the NFL have come together to mastermind and conspire so Green Bay can always be good and Kansas City can't be good? That's what you're telling me? That's what you think is going on behind the scenes? That the league likes Buffalo, New York, and Kansas City, Missouri? That's what That's the plan going on behind the scenes? No, Houston, Texas, your team stinks. Get better. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Mike Pereira. We'll ask somebody completely neutral on what they think about the officiating in Saturday's divisional round game. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Now that the holidays are over, the cold weather's here, and the kids are back to their routines, we're loving Hy-Vee's Aisles Online. They make it so easy to get our groceries. All you have to do is download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you got to do is pick up your order or have it delivered to your home. And listen to this. Right now, you're going to get $10 off any $125 Aisles Online purchase. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
It's cold outside, and the cupboard is bare. No worries. Let Hy-Vee do the shopping. With Aisles Online, it's easy. Go to Hy-Vee.com, choose your store, select your items, and schedule a convenient pickup or delivery time. Right now, get $10 off any $125 Aisles Online purchase. What could be better? We do the shopping and deliver your groceries. You stay warm and save money. Download the Aisles Online app or go to Hy-Vee.com today.
Casey's has 8 new coffee roasts that have been described as having rich aromatics that entice any palate. But, we're not sure what that means, so we just call it darn good coffee. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. Get a free any-size coffee with Casey's Rewards. See Casey's Rewards for details.
Attention car shoppers, Kevin Harlan here with Rob Seid of Rob Seid Ford in South Kansas City. Hey, Rob, what's going on?
We are making 2025 the best year in Rob Seid Ford history, and we are doing it with 4 simple steps.
Simple is what I love most about Rob Seid Ford. So, Rob, what's the plan?
It starts with Rob Seid Ford's non-commissioned sales staff, Kansas City's lowest prices on brand new Fords, the best trade-in values, the biggest selection we've ever had. With those 4 steps, it is my personal mission to make Rob Seid Ford the easiest, most value-driven Ford dealership in Kansas City. No BS.
That's why Rob Seid Ford is the only dealership I'll send my friends and family to. But you're forgetting one thing.
What's that?
Rob Seid Ford is Kansas City's top-rated Google Ford dealership.
Good call. Can't forget about that. Check out Rob Seid Ford in South Kansas City at 135th and State Line, ROBSIGHT.com.
Pick up your phone and put in GiveMeTheVin.com. Highest money, quickest offer, $2,000 to $200,000. Top car buyer in the United States is GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Going down in a rinse change.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit GetEthos.com. That's GetEthos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news. A CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Nick Bolton, MIZ. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
We are very happy and honored to be joined by our next guest. He is the former vice president of officiating for the National Football League. He is also the current rules analyst for Fox Sports. Very happy to talk to him about the officiating in Saturday's divisional round game between the Chiefs and the Texans. We welcome on Mike Pereira to the show today. Mike, happy to have you on today.
Glad to be on with you guys.
Mike, how happy are you to be at least coming on the show to discuss another Chiefs officiating controversy? I feel like this is the fifth time we've had you on the show.
Well, in my introduction, my favorite word that you used was former. The former head of officiating. I'm glad I'm not the head of officiating anymore. It's obviously become open season, and a lot of that has been brought on by the officials themselves, but we've gone from face mask hysteria to hits on quarterbacks hysteria, and we'll just have to see where it goes from here.
How much of that, Mike, do you think stems from that the NFL has never been popular and we all have these very expensive high definition TVs and the television broadcast show us a play on replay in super slow motion 5 or 6 times that I believe you can convince yourself of anything that happens if you're going to watch it in super slow-mo and then freeze frame every single part of the play?
Yeah, clearly that's an issue. And I remember my dad telling me, this is when I ran the program, for God's sake. My dad was a college official. And so we're talking about in the early 2000s. And I think it was like 2000, maybe, or even 1999. I don't know. And he called me one day from California in my office in New York, and he said to me, "Your officials are terrible. We were better back in my day." And I said, "Dad, in your day, they were looking at like Super 8 video, showing it on a sheet, hanging on a wall. I mean, the technology has come so far that everything gets looked at so closely, and even us rules analysts, we say to our producers, you must show it in real time. You can't just show it alone in slow motion. Show it at the same speed that the officials see it. People don't want to hear that, because, I always called it the pregnant pause. When you made a call on the field, you didn't know whether the fans liked it or not until they saw the replay on the big screen, and then they would react. But it is the nature of the beast, and that's not something that the officials should be, leery of. I mean, I remember when instant replay was first brought back in 1999, I said, don't look at this as your enemy. Look at a system that you're going to challenge. Let's have you try to keep up with the system, and it is going to help you. It is going to correct certain things. And in 1999, it was very limited, and certainly it has expanded now. But it's the technology has made a world of difference in reaction from either fans or even back in my day in 1999, there was no such thing as social media, and so the word never traveled so fast like it does now.
Right now, we're talking to Mike Pereira. He is the former vice president of officiating in the National Football League. He's the current rules analyst on Fox Sports. You'll see him this weekend for the NFC Championship game. All right, Mike, I want to kind of go down the list because I think there's 3 plays to get your opinion on. Let's start with the first one. It was called roughing the passer on Will Anderson. This was in the first half of the game. What was your opinion on that play?
I don't like it. I understand the league saying they defend it. To me, it's one of those start eliminating. Is it late? No. Is it helmet contact? maybe, although, you don't see the head move. Does the head move? Mahomes' head move? To me, it is one that nothing is said if it's not called. And, they did put a fail-safe in this year. It's brand new, and it's an area that I think will be expanded on. If it's called for a hit to the head or neck area and there isn't any contact to the head or neck area, then replay can take it off. But there has to be zero contact. Zero. Makes no difference if it's forcible or not forcible. If there is that contact, any contact keeps replay out of it. But to me, you can see why it's called. I would just say this: if I was still in the league office, I would be saying the same thing. I could defend it, but then I would add it is not one that needs to be called, and that was my feeling about that one.
Mike, I feel like what's happened with roughing the passer is we've kind of turned it into block charge in basketball. You and I can be watching the same way. I think his feet was set. Somebody else thinks his feet wasn't set, and it's a 50-50 call either way. I do think that the league in some ways has become so overprotective of quarterbacks, and the reason I think that's a penalty is I think for the most part the league has said, we think this position is so valuable, you cannot hit this position, and if you hit a player high the way that I think Will Anderson hit Patrick Mahomes, I think more times than not they're going to throw a penalty on that play.
Well, I don't agree. I mean, obviously I'd look at it, from my own perspective now, not having a bias because I don't longer work for the league. I don't want any play over officiated, and they talk about when in doubt, call the penalty. Well, they've taken that out when it comes to hits on defenseless players. That element of the game, whether it's illegal use of the helmet, there's no element of doubt. It is or it isn't. Now, there still is a bit of a mention about that when it comes to quarterbacks, but I think we got to be fair here. And again, I look at things, and I am somewhat guilty. I look at things from my perspective when I was grading the officials when I was there. Would I have downgraded this official if he didn't make that call? No. So therefore, I just don't think that it needs to be called. I worry about football becoming over officiated on all levels because it's gotten to the point where, we're calling things, and this is, of course, away from hits on quarterbacks, but non-safety related things, I feel like we're getting too technical of what we're calling. But in this one, I can see why. I mean, I get it, and I probably would have said the same thing. Defend it. I would have defended. But defend it doesn't mean you want to call. I mean, that's it. It is one of those where I think it could have easily been let go.
Right now, we're talking to Mike Pereira going through some of the penalties that were called in Saturday's matchup between the Chiefs and the Texans. Let's move to the second play. I do think here, I've had a stance that I think the league would be better off if they just eliminated the slide, because I thought what happened was Mahomes is kind of moving and he's unsure about what he wants to do. He could probably go out of bounds, but he's trying to get a couple extra yards. He then goes down, and I think you kind of put the defender in a bad spot. I want to see, as the position has gotten more mobile than it's ever become, I think eliminating the slide would kind of clear up some of these things. Hey, once you pass the line of scrimmage, you have to act like a running back. You have to act like a tight end, a wide receiver. You can obviously go down. Receivers give themselves up, but only one position slides. I think that would end some of the gray area that happens on these plays where a quarterback goes down too late, he gets hit, where there's only one position that routinely slides in that way.
And there's only one position that routinely slides in that way, as you say, although it applies to any runner, anybody with the ball. But I agree with you to a degree. I mean, I think that doesn't make a lot of sense. I agree to a degree. I think you have to eliminate the late slide. I mean, it's absolutely unfair to the defender, to me, unfair to the defender when there's not even that. I mean, that one is kind of a questionable slide to me, period. He's like just going down to protect himself without throwing feet first. But to me, I think there has to be protection for all runners when it comes to, hits to the head or neck area, and not just hits to the head or neck area, forcible hits to the neck area. And so I think if you want protection, you got to slide early. But if you're trying to get extra yards and you slide late, I think that protection is off unless somebody leads and gets you, in the head or neck area with their helmet. I have a hard time putting that play into the category of a foul because the two defenders go over the top. Is there some slight contact to the helmet? Yeah. A little bit with the face mask, maybe. A little bit with the forearm, maybe. But again, late slide like that, and late going down to protect yourself, defenders committed. I could defend it, I guess, but I know one thing I wouldn't want to call it.
Mike, you're one of the perfect people to ask this question. If we could kind of break down the rules and kind of start them over and build them foundationally, how do you think that we could find some of this consistency? Because I think we all, as NFL fans, consumers, we all want that level of consistency where you see a hit like happened against Patrick Mahomes, that gets called a penalty. Then you see the hit that happened in the game that you were on this weekend with Jared Goff, and then that doesn't get called. And I think it creates hold on, if that's a penalty for Kansas City, why is this not a penalty call for Detroit? That I do think fans have some questions about the consistency in which this is called. If you could just help simplify this, what were some suggestions that you would have to try to make this a process that is easier to understand for all of us?
Consistency is really a tough word. Look, I mean, when you're talking about 120 some odd officials and trying to get them to see everything the same, and to have their judgment be the same, that's virtually impossible. I mean, in 121 officials, there are some that are better than others, and there are some that see more and call more. I mean, it's a very difficult game to officiate, and again, I think we've taken all kinds of steps to try to add looks, different things, change mechanics, have this guy looking here, have this guy looking there. It's still never going to be that consistent. The best opportunity that I think is out there, which is so novel that nobody is really trying to do it except for the spring leagues. I think you need another official. I mean, I think it's time to think seriously about another official, a good official. Put him in a striped shirt, put him in the black pants with a white stripe down the side, and put him in a booth and make him a booth official. Call him the sky judge, whatever you want to call him, just like he's on the field. So if like it happens often on the field, a block in the back is called and another official on the field sees it from a different angle and comes over and says, I had that block on the side, and then they pick it up. Sky judge, with a quick look, replay look, and being able to do it very quickly. Let him make some of these decisions to make it more consistent. And they're getting so close to that. I mean, look what they're doing in, these hits to the quarterback and what they will end up doing with face masks next year. They're going to get more involved with the replay assistant and let him get involved in these decisions. I think you have a chance there. We've tried it a couple years in the UFL, the USFL before that, the XFL, same concept, and it has worked. I mean, it takes some of the officials, some of the officiating off the field, but still it's done by an official. It's done by an official who's essentially the member of a crew. So that's something I would like to see them do, but we'll never, even then it's still going to be human decisions, and we'll never get over the hysteria of protecting Tom Brady too much or protecting Patrick Mahomes too much, the different perceptions that, you're treating people differently. Hell, I'm telling you, the official, all he wants to do is make the correct call so that he gets the possibility to work a Super Bowl. They don't really care who wins or who loses. They just don't want to get that negative grade sheet on Wednesday. So that's part of the myths that float around that you protect somebody more than others. The fact is you just try to keep your butt from getting fired, which happens year in and year out in the league. And so you just have to try to elevate your game and make these calls the best you can. But I would also say that the one thing I would be I'm more concerned about over officiating a game than I am under officiating a game.
That was Mike Pereira joining us on the show. He is the former vice president of officiating for the National Football League. He is the current rules analyst for Fox Sports. You will catch him for the NFC Championship game. You will also see him for the Super Bowl down in New Orleans. Mike, great stuff. We always appreciate your flexibility to pop on when the Chiefs are in the middle of something. Thanks a lot for coming on today.
You got it. Take care.
Absolutely. That is Mike Pereira joining us on the show today. Really good stuff from him as the current rules analyst at Fox Sports. Rob, I'm not sure how you heard maybe the last 2.5 minutes of when he was talking. I heard him say a lot of words to simply say, it is impossible. I asked him, hey, how do we reach more consistency in the league? Because ultimately, that's what I think we all want. Chiefs fans, Texans fans, Bills fans, all we want is consistency. This is a catch. This is holding. This is pass interference. I think you just heard the former NFL vice president of officiating, the rules analyst. Whenever there is a question that happens during the broadcast, they go to this individual for clarity. I think he just told you there, well, we're never going to have the clarity that you want. We're never going to call it 100% all of the time. How many times, Rob, have we heard the rules analyst, whether it's Dean Blandino or Mike Pereira, they say one thing when the announcer asks him, what do you think about the play? Oh, well, I don't think that's a catch, or I do think that's a catch, or I don't think that's pass interference. Then they go down to the field and we hear what the official says, the only person's opinion who really ultimately matters on this thing, and everything that that person says directly contrasts the rules expert on this thing. There is never going to be a 100% consensus on this thing. I understand that there is a need for better officiating and more consistent officiating in the National Football League. I watch the same league that you guys watch. I'm not going to question that. I just think that Houston is the wrong martyr for this fight. If you wanted to have this conversation about James Bradbury in the Super Bowl and about a 50-50, quote, ticky-tack foul, okay. But I think that Houston's frustration is much more directed at the rules and the National Football League than the Chiefs. The league, I think, has been pretty consistent and pretty diligent on. We protect quarterbacks. This is a business. These are our money makers. People watch games to watch the good quarterbacks. So we are going to go above and beyond to protect the good quarterbacks. People felt that way about Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, and now they feel that way about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry, those are the breaks. And yes, maybe Houston got some unfortunate breaks. They certainly did a lot to contribute to why they lost too. And why they lost were far more greater than the two plays that we are discussing. This was not a close game to me that came down to one or two plays. This was a Houston team that didn't score its final 3 possessions, a Houston team that scored 1 touchdown, and a Houston team that got sacked 8 times. I think if Kansas City and Houston played 100 times at Arrowhead, I think maybe Houston wins 5 times. I don't think that team matches up very well against Kansas City. I don't think that team is talented enough to beat Kansas City. I think it would take the Chiefs either sleepwalking through the game or playing uncharacteristic bad games in order for Houston to be able to beat them. And the Chiefs, they don't play those kind of games. The Chiefs haven't turned the football over in 8 weeks. 8 weeks they haven't turned the football over. Their quarterback has never turned the football over in the divisional round. Look at what happened in the NFL. It didn't matter how many yards you accumulated this week in the divisional round. If your team lost a turnover battle, you lost. That's simple. You could throw for 300 yards, your quarterback do this, you're running. It doesn't matter. If you lose the turnover differential, you lose the fight. Now, Houston didn't have a bunch of turnovers, but sacks on 3rd down that cause punts, they're turnovers. When you are on a 4th down play and your team doesn't break the huddle until 8 seconds left and it's frantic helter-skelter and you're trying to figure it out and you get sacked on the play, that is a turnover. Houston just didn't play well enough, in my opinion, to be able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So a lot of their arguments and complaints just fall on deaf ears to me. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to head to Houston to be joined by Sean Pendergast and get his thoughts on things. Before we do that, I know that our show has the stigma of thinking that Travis Kelce is washed. And you know what? I'll hold that. That's fine. We've gone over this before. But I know that you guys had to be sitting there on Saturday thinking some of the same things I was thinking. Yo, why is he so wide open? Like, I know I wasn't the only one thinking this. I wasn't the only one that's watching the Chiefs game, and I'm like, you guys are leaving Travis Kelce wide open? It's not like Justin Watson was cooking him or Noah Gray was cooking him. That's not what happened. How do you go into a Chiefs game knowing, hey, this guy that they got on their team, when they show the graphic, the only person better than him is Jerry Rice. The only person with more catches, more touchdown, more yards, more win. The only person is Jerry Rice. Well, we're not going to cover him. We're going to cover everybody else. That was your plan? I mean, Houston defensively, they did all right against everybody else. There was not another Chiefs player that had more than 50 yards from scrimmage. Not Kareem Hunt, not Isaiah Pacheco, not Xavier Worthy. There was no other Chiefs player that had more than 50 yards from scrimmage. You let Travis Kelce have 117 and a touchdown on 8 targets. Was your plan to take away Samaje Perine? All right, you did it. Was your plan to take away Juju Smith-Schuster or stop Isaiah Pacheco? I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, congrats, you did it. There's one guy in the playoffs that has been shown now for 5 years you have to stop in the postseason. It's number 87. It's Mr. Bad Blood. It's Mr. Blank Space. And you guys just didn't defend him? Just didn't guard him. Didn't nothing. He's wide open in the middle of the field. He's wide open in the end zone. If Travis Kelce jukes you at this point in his career, you deserve to lose. It's that simple. You deserve to lose. In the middle of the field, it's one-on-one. He didn't even put something nasty on you. Just one quick change of direction. You fell to the ground. You got open field. You got to be able to tackle that guy at this stage in his career. Younger Travis Kelce would have jumped over you and would have been in the end zone and would have been doing the stanky leg on you. You just didn't have any interest in guarding Travis Kelce. None. Not a little bit. Just no interest in defending a first ballot Hall of Famer. Well, you know what? You guys, I want you to wear as a badge of honor, you stopped DeAndre Hopkins. And DeAndre Hopkins didn't have a catch. No yards. You guys did a great job on Juju Smith-Schuster. Didn't have a catch. You guys stopped McCole Hardman. He didn't even play. I mean, he was so worried he didn't even go up against your defense. You couldn't defend the one guy on the Chiefs you need to defend, and you want me to, it's the officials why you lost. You don't want me to go through any of the other things. It's just the refs. All right. Coming up, we're going to head to Houston, be joined by Sean Pendergast, who was with Sports Radio 610 down in Houston. What is the losing team saying about yesterday? We'll find out. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The college football season is coming to an end. We have the title game coming up. And right now, all customers on FanDuel can score a 30% live profit boost for Monday's game between Ohio State and Notre Dame. Here's how it works. You place a bet on the game, apply your profit boost, and enjoy boosted winnings when your bets hit. And the best part is you get paid instantly when you win. You can use your bets on what you like, point spread, player props, over-under, who scores the first touchdown, even how they score the first touchdown. Don't wait. Use this promo code, FanDuel.com/KFNZ. My promo code is KFNZ. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help us your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then, 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buying and selling a home is stressful. You want the best team on your side, and that's my friend Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. To find the current value of your home, go to homesforsaleandkc.com. Click on the button, How much is your home really worth? Then the Sharp Homes team can give you options. If you want to skip the showings and open houses, you can do that with their instant offer program. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp. Google Sharp Homes team or visit them at homesforsaleandkc.com.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Expect a high of 16 with mostly cloudy skies this afternoon.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Chiefs fans, it's Rashee Rice. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
So I asked Rob earlier today to listen in to Houston Sports Talk Radio and play the calls for us. And Rob looked at me, and I think Rob really just didn't want to do the work. He looked at me and was like, well, I'm not really supposed to be here. It's a holiday, but you know what? I'm here anyway. What do you want me to do? And I was like, can you get the audio for us so we can play it? You know, that's like a theme of the show. We normally go and we play the losers phone calls. And he said, why don't I just make one phone call and get all the calls? I'm like, yeah, sure, if that's what you want to do. So he said, we're having Sean Pendergast on the show. Now, I like Sean Pendergast a lot. He is the voice of the Houston sports fan. He's going to let us know how they're feeling. He's with Sports Radio 610. Sean, how you doing today, my man?
I'm good, Carrington. It's good to hear your voice. I don't mean to choose violence right out of the chute, but was that a promo
that I just heard with Rashee Rice promoting the drive?
Yes, that is it. I know what you're about to say. I understand what you're saying. I didn't have anything to do with that.
I know you didn't. I'm just pointing it out. That's wild to me. But anyways, yeah. So okay. So let's talk about this game.
Right now, we're talking to Sean Pendergast with Sports Radio 610. You know what? The only other person to notice that was actually Danny. Danny said the exact same thing. Like, why are you playing this? Of all the players on the team, he should not be the one promoting the drive.
Yeah, man. Like, just it's no disrespect to you. I'm a big fan of the drive on 96.5, starring Carrington Harrison. Huge fan of the show. That's wild. But let's go. There's a game on Saturday. Let's do this.
All right, let's get to it. You talked to Houston fans. You spoke to them earlier today. I'm imagining there was a lot of backlash about the officiating, but I don't want to assume. What was the tone? How were Texans fans feeling earlier this morning?
Yeah, they were. I think there's definite backlash on the officiating in the game because it was a factor in the game. Like, I think we can look at this game in a vacuum and say of the two teams, you know, it's never even with the officiating, it seems like, right? One team benefits from a call here and there more than another does. I think there's no question that the Kansas City Chiefs benefited more from the officiating in that game than the Texans did. Now, I can tell you that the tone on the post-game show, and I'll be honest, Seth and I don't take a ton of phone calls on our show, especially on Mondays because we're only on for 2 hours because the Texans have the second 2 hours of our show during the season. So there's a lot that we had to get in on that game. But I think, Carrington, it was more, there was less conspiracy theory about, the Chiefs are the darling of the league. And it was more like, hey, man, like when you're the 4 seed and you go travel to the home of the 1 seed, this is part of what's baked into the home field advantage. The refs are human. And it seems like for time immemorial, the humans tend to side with the home team in those instances. And we can talk about what Patrick does to kind of draw that out. But I think if you're asking like what the tone of the city was, the officiating was 100% part of what had people feeling so angry. But I think it was more like we've got to be better so that we don't have to be in that position next year. Like go be the 2 seed so you don't have to go to Kansas City in the divisional round. Maybe you have to go there in the AFC title round. But so that's kind of what it was.
Yeah, and I guess just looking at the way the game played out, because I don't want to be naive and make it seem like the calls are the officiating. I mean, one of the plays, Houston's about to get off the field. They then call an automatic first down. The Chiefs didn't score on that drive. So I don't want to make it seem like the officiating had absolutely no dictate on who ended up winning this game. But I would also look at Houston as I don't know if Houston played well enough to win this game. Houston scored 1 touchdown. Houston had the ball for their final 3 possessions. They had a turnover on down. They then had a punt. They then had a field goal block to try to get it to be a 1-score game. There were chances to get back in this game if you were the Houston Texans, and I thought they blew it at almost every single turn.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the officiating stuff is getting attention because of the quotes that are getting pulled out of the locker room after the game, which I would say don't totally reflect well on the players. Will Anderson was the big one where he said us against the refs. The thing was, every single one of those players went on to say, like, we've got to be better at this, and this. Like, they all admitted. None of them attributed it solely to the officiating. The officiating was 100% a bullet point in this, and I would point to the myriad of national people that are pointing to the officiating in that game today as an issue. More an issue with the rule itself and the fact that quarterbacks can take advantage of it than just specific to the Texans and the Chiefs that day. But yeah, look, if you told me before the game, Carrington, that the Texans would have outgained the Chiefs by 100-plus yards, that they'd be 10 of 17 on third down, that they would have run the football really, really well in that game, which they did, no turnovers, I would have guessed blindly, if you do the whole box score forensics thing, just hand me these 4 things and tell me what you think the outcome of the game was. I would have said I think the Texans win the game. But they committed a bunch of penalties outside of the borderline calls that the officials had. The special teams were atrocious. Special teams usually are a real strength for the Texans. They picked a bad day to have atrocious, idiotic, stupid, soft special teams, and they let Travis Kelce run wild. I don't know what their strategy was for Travis Kelce, but I would burn it. I would never use it ever again.
Right now, we're talking to Seth Pendergast for a couple of more minutes here. What really stood out to me about the reaction from the players was it wasn't just one player. It was basically all of the leaders of the team. It was the head coach that said something. It was C.J. Stroud. It was Joe Mixon. It was Will Anderson. It was the linebacker. It was anybody who plays for the Texans that we know and discuss. They all seem to have one kind of theme, which was like, wait, you guys kind of use this as a built-in excuse coming into it. At least that's how it felt, that you guys weren't going to get the officiating that then happened in the game, and now you're just going to use this as a reason why you lost.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. Like, they're professionals. They probably should have handled it differently. I will say this, the gall that Patrick Mahomes has to abuse the rules the way that he does, I can understand where players after the game, where you're right after the game, testosterone-laden atmosphere. It's a high testosterone zone. Emotions are running high. The game just ended 10 minutes ago. The stuff that Mahomes does to me, Carrington, is disgusting. That he does where he's got a pass out of bounds and he decides to tippy-toe back inside, slide down so he can draw an illegal, an unnecessary roughness penalty. The flop out of bounds. Like, I get it. Like, you guys have 3 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. I rooted for James Harden and defended him for years in Houston, so I kind of know the territory that we're in right now. You guys got the titles at least to show for it, but the level of bargaining that has to go on with a fan of a player that flops is tough. And I'm sure there's a ton of Kansas City fans right now listening to me say this, we don't really care. We win with the guy. We love the guy. And that's all well and good. I think it's wussy-ish stuff that Patrick Mahomes does, and I hope they legislate it the hell out of the game.
That is our guy, Sean Pendergast, joining us on the show today. I will say, Sean, on that last play, I mean, he flew out of bounds kind of like Jazzy Jeff from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He got pushed in the back and threw his hands up and then turned around and looked to the refs.
The funny thing was about it, Carrington, is that if they had called something, he was actually pushed while he was still in bounds. That was the crazy part. Like, if you go back and watch that play, his feet are still in bounds when Henry To'oTo'o nudges him slightly, and then his arms are flailing. He looks like one of those big inflatables outside of a new car dealership with the arms flailing around like Bailey had in WWE back in the day, like just flailing the arms and whatnot. That stuff, like, he's so above that, man. Like, you guys know that this guy is the best player in recent memory. He's the best. He's the GOAT. If we're to define this generation as post-Brady, he's the post-Brady GOAT. He doesn't need to be doing that stuff. Like, if I was a Kansas City fan, I would be secretly disgusted with it. I wouldn't walk around town saying how disgusted I am because I don't know how the rest of, everybody else would feel about it. But I just thought that stuff, that's like he should be so above that. That's stuff Zach Wilson should be doing. You know what I mean? Like, or Will Levis. That's a Will Levis move right there. Patrick Mahomes ain't Will Levis. He doesn't need to be doing that. I just thought that stuff was gross.
Well, I'm reading the text line right now, Sean Pendergast, and the text line kind of consensus is you guys need to worry about pushing your coaches instead of worry about pushing Mahomes.
Yeah, no, dude. Hey, I'm not on here to defend Chris Boyd. Just let your texters know that. Like, I put it in my notes. I said it in the post-game show. I said it this morning. He needs to be gone. So, yeah, like I ain't here to defend any of that. I'm a man of reason. Tell your listeners I am a man of reason. So I don't think they're going to listen to that, though. I don't think they like what I just said about your guy.
Well, that is my guy, Sean Pendergast. The text line wants me to tell you to enjoy Cancun and also enjoy the NFL draft that's coming up as the Chiefs prepare to get ready for another AFC Championship game. I appreciate you, Sean.
We will. I will tell everybody in Kansas City to drive safe. How about that?
That is Sean Pendergast joining us on the show today. I want to know what you guys think. 913-586-7965. We will talk about the officiating coming up. I do think that the NFL has turned roughing the passer into block charge. I also think that there is a very simple fix for some of these things. I'll tell you what that is. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today. because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
College football is coming to an end, and with the 12-team playoff going on, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. And right now, all customers on FanDuel can score a 30% live profit boost for the Notre Dame versus Ohio State championship game. Here's how it works. Place the bet on the game, apply your profit boost, and enjoy boosted winnings when your bet hits. And the best part, you get paid instantly when you win. Use your boost on bets like spreads, over-unders, method of first touchdown, and so much more. Don't wait. Visit FanDuel.com/Alex to download America's #1 sportsbook and make your playoff payoff even bigger. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-469-1635. 800-469-1635. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-469-1635.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
In honor of National Cheese Lovers Day, we're giving away one of our favorites for a steal. Get into your nearest lodge for free chips and queso with any $20 purchase. Come celebrate National Cheese Lovers Day with us today at Twin Peaks.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN+. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
What's up, KC? It's Trent McDuffie. Catch the play-by-play all season long with Mitch, Danon, and Kling right here on your home of the Chiefs. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, I want to play what Sean Pendergast had to say before we had to take a break, and I'll react to it. If you just missed it, we had a Houston guest on the show, Sean Pendergast. He does morning. I think he's one of the best in the business. He said this about the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs.
The stuff that Mahomes does to me, Carrington, is disgusting. that he does where he's got a pass out of bounds and he decides to tippy-toe back inside, slide down so he can draw an illegal, an unnecessary roughness penalty. The flop out of bounds. Like, I get it. Like, you guys have 3 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. I rooted for James Harden and defended him for years in Houston, so I kind of know the territory that we're in right now. You guys got the titles at least to show for it, but the level of bargaining that has to go on with a fan of a player that flops is tough. And I'm sure there's a ton of Kansas City fans right now listening to me say this, we don't really care. We win with the guy. We love the guy. And that's all well and good. I think it's wussy-ish stuff that Patrick Mahomes does, and I hope they legislate it the hell out of the game.
All right, let's do this. Let's go through the 3 plays that are in question, and then we'll move on. We'll get back to the game. But I do want to talk about this because Patrick Mahomes is at the center of all of these things, and I plan on asking about these plays tomorrow when he comes on the show. Number 1, the first play with Will Anderson. I do not like that this is a penalty. I think you guys have listened to the show enough to know I agree with Mike Pereira that I think we now over-referee the game. I think that we are so caught up in player safety that you are losing some of the physicality that comes with playing football that these guys have signed up for. And I do think that now we ask defensive players to play some weird game of hokey pokey that is physically not possible. You cannot lead with your shoulder and not lower your head while running. You cannot do all of those things. And we ask defensive players to hit offensive players in such a very, very small part of their body. Well, you can't hit them too low. That's a penalty. You can't hit them too high. You got to hit them every time perfectly in the numbers or we're going to penalize you. I do think that the game is unfair at times to defensive players. But one thing I think they've been very consistent on is when a quarterback is in the pocket, do not hit them below the knees. Do not hit them above the shoulders. I think that Will Anderson does that. I think that's a penalty based on how they call the game. I think they've been very consistent on those things. In the pocket, do not hit quarterbacks that way. And in a league that is very protective of quarterbacks, and as a quarterback league, if you hit the quarterback that way, they call that a penalty. I'm sorry. That's the NFL that we live in. So you can either make excuses about it or deal with it. And I don't think that Houston was prepared really at any point to deal with it. I think they were prepared to make excuses about it. I think they were prepared to blame the officials the moment something happened that they didn't like. Everybody on their team was doing this. It's not like one player went rogue. This was a talking point to them in the locker room before the game. As they're getting ready for the week, they're talking about the officials and, oh, man, they're going to screw us. That's mind control. This is what teams do when they go to Allen Fieldhouse. To cover up the fact that KU is about to beat you by 12, you got to blame other reasons, even though you shot more free throws than KU. They called more fouls on KU than they called on you, but it was the officials why you lost, wasn't it? That call that they had in the first half with 9 minutes, that's why you lost the game. No, you lost because your team shot 31% and you missed 14 free throws. That's why you lost to KU. You wasn't good enough. I do feel like Houston went in there with the baked-in excuse of, well, the refs cheat when you go in there. What can we do? They absolutely had that energy. 5-6 players after the game, we know going into it. Well, no. I could have told you if you only score 1 touchdown, you ain't beating the Chiefs today. I could have told you that if you missed 2 field goals and extra point, you weren't beating the Chiefs today, but it's the officials' fault. So that's hit number 1. The league has determined that's a penalty. Now, this might be where you guys get a little upset at me, and I hope that you guys know that we are on the same team here. We rep the same smart tech. I'm on your side. I do think that Mahomes baited the Texans into the second penalty. I do think he did that. I think Mahomes was unsure about what he wanted to do. It looked like he could have went out of bounds. He could have went down earlier. He was dipping and moving, and he saw those defenders coming and then fell to the ground and got them to call a penalty. I think that's football. I think that's sports. We see this in basketball. It doesn't matter if you watch college or you watch this in the NBA. Rob, how many times have you seen when a guy does the rip-through move in basketball and you kind of poke your hand in there and they get you and they just flail their arms up in the air like they're shooting. Or you come off a pick and roll and something happens and you throw your head back. That's the game. This is why I've said this entire time, I would eliminate feet-first slides. You cannot give up yourself that way anymore. It creates too many gray areas. Well, when can you start the slide? Well, you started it too late. Well, you started it then. Just eliminate feet-first slides. I know this comparison might not work for everybody, but Rob, you and I play the college football game. There's only one position you can slide like that, right? It's the quarterback. You cannot do that move on the game with any other position group except the one. So, yeah, you can make the argument, well, everybody can slide. Well, everybody doesn't slide. Only one position slides that way. When's the last time a running back in the middle of the field, not at the end of the game, trying to run out the clock, just slid to give himself up? You can get down. Nobody's saying you can't get down. We see wide receivers get down all the time. I made an 8-yard catch. The Ravens might be playing the Chiefs if Mark Andrews had done that. Just fall to the ground. You should not be able to give yourself up that way. If you're going to overly protect quarterbacks in the pocket, okay, fine. I don't like it, but okay. We've seen that before. They are overly protective of quarterbacks in the pocket. No question. Well, to me, you can't be overly protective in the pocket, allow them to be as mobile as the quarterback position has become, and then continue that same protection outside of the pocket. And where I think a lot of the confusion and gray area in the NFL is, you have 22 players. 21 of them have a set of rules. There's one that doesn't have the same set of rules. That just creates a problem in any system. If you got 4 kids and you treat one kid drastically different than the other ones, eventually that causes internal strife and conflict. And that's what happens in the NFL at quarterback. Once you leave the line of scrimmage, I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes or Saquon Barkley, the rules have to be the same. They're not the same. So it leads to situations like this. Mahomes leaves the pocket. He can't throw anymore. He's dancing. He's doing all this kind of stuff. He then falls to the ground. They hit him. It's a penalty. I don't think you should be able to do that. I don't think Mahomes did anything wrong. I think that's the rules, and I think the rules are broken. The third penalty, I mean, we all love Patrick Mahomes, right? I mean, friend of the show. I like Mahomes on a personal level. Wouldn't say we're friends or anything, but we're certainly professional with one another on and off the air. I like Patrick. He flopped. I just, come on now, we know he did. That third one, he flopped. Now, it doesn't matter. And I do think that people are using that third play as a see, he flops. Well, the officials did their job. Mahomes is inbounds. He gets pushed. He tries to get a penalty. He doesn't get a penalty. They play on. Patrick didn't seem that mad when he got up. He got pushed inbounds. He did kind of look like Jazzy Jeff from Fresh Prince. He threw his arms up. He's way more coordinated than that. He turned around, looked for the flag. They didn't give him to him. He goes back to playing football. That's the difference, I think, between the Chiefs and these other things. Calls go against the Chiefs all the time. National media doesn't talk about it. Other teams don't talk about it. The Chiefs don't get every call. But the Chiefs just handle these things a little bit better. Or when they don't, we call them out for it. I didn't like the way that Mahomes acted last year. You remember when Mahomes had the little temper tantrum after the Buffalo game? It was weak. You remember that. He was wrong. But they don't use this as an excuse of why they lose. No, you be better next time. We got to be better. And I didn't hear enough personal accountability from the Houston Texans. Not for my liking. I think Houston went in with the belief, and the moment that something happened that supported that belief, they were going to hold on to that the whole game. These 2 plays happened early in the game. You had time to overcome these plays. You didn't. You lost. The first play on Will Anderson, I do think is a 50-50 call, but I think the league has decided that we are going to side with quarterbacks on that play. It's unfortunate. I would say that's the game. The second penalty, I do think Mahomes baited you. He slid a little bit too late. They hit him. The officials called it. That's the NFL. They're not good at those plays in my mind. And I want them to outlaw those plays to make it more simplistic for everybody. The third call that's getting so much love, nothing happened. Like literally, it had no impact on the game. You tried to get a foul. You didn't get a foul. It was a play-on situation. But that's the snapshot. See, I told you. See, I told you he does that. No, every quarterback in the league does that. I watch Buffalo. I watch Josh Allen do that all the time. In fact, Josh Allen, he's the best at it, in my mind. There ain't nobody that flops more and puts their arms up and is dismayed the way that Josh Allen is. I think it's a whole lot of hubbub about nothing, man. I really do. I think it's a lot of hubbub about nothing. Coming up, I got to admit something to you guys. Now, I know that some of you were here a lot earlier than I was. But I'm here to tell you that I am now here, and I am willing to apologize to you guys. This isn't going to keep happening. I'm not going to keep apologizing after every round of the postseason. I apologize for the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm willing to apologize one more time during this playoff run. We'll do that next. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Touchdown! Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Tackle your airport parking needs at Park & Go. Always the best service and always the best price at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7 and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and operated.
You're listening to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti, locally here on 96.5 The Fan in Kansas City. Kickoff with Boomer Esiason and Mike Valenti is presented locally by ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
Steve here for Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. It's cold. I bet you are starting to notice your water heater is no longer keeping up as well as it used to. So we are offering $200 off a tank-style water heater replacement. Or if you want 1 hour long shower or more, we can install a tankless water heater with $400 off. This month only, so call Connolly Plumbing Solutions at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Get the savings you want on America's largest 5G network. Visit T-Mobile.com/choice55 and start saving today.
Your skin tells a story. At KMC Dermatology and Med Spa, we understand that stress, time, and life can leave their mark, but it's never too late to refresh, renew, and restore your skin. With 25 expert providers across multiple locations, we make glowing skin easy. Same week appointments? Absolutely. Select Saturday appointments available? You got it. From medical dermatology to advanced aesthetic treatments, we're here to help you look and feel your best. Schedule your appointment today at kmcpa.com. KMC Dermatology and Med Spa, beyond the surface.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with a sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
What's up, football fans? BetMGM is giving you the chance to win up to $250,000 in bonus bet credits. It's all part of BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot, where you could be able to split the grand prize with anyone else who bet on the longest touchdown of the week. Log into your BetMGM account today and opt into the promo. Then place an anytime touchdown wager of $10 or more on the player of your choice, up to one player per game. If your player scores the longest touchdown of the week, you'll win a share of the $250K in credits. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada. BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot subject to rules. See BetMGM.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are unrestricted rewards credits that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Kansas Lottery Play On app. Scan your tickets for more chances to win. Kansas Lottery Play On app. Scan your tickets for more chances to win.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is brought to you by Connolly Plumbing Solutions. Got a stalled car on the right shoulder in the downtown loop, southbound 35 at westbound 70, and a collision closing the right lane, westbound 70, just past 18th Street. Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber, this month offering a $200 off tank water heater replacement or $400 off tankless. Call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome to your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. We are also available to stream the show online. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you stream video, our show is probably there. All right, this is what I would like to admit to you guys. Now, I want you to write this down just because I'm tired of apologizing to you guys about things. I apologized to you guys last week about the Los Angeles Chargers, and I told you, if you call me Chargers during this postseason, I'm blocking you on the text line. I don't want to hear their name. I don't want you to bring them up to me anymore. They're dead to me. There's only 31 teams in the National Football League. They're looking for an expansion team. Put a team in Toronto. Put a team in London. Put a team in Berlin. I don't care. But that team needs to replace the Los Angeles Chargers. They have hurt me too many times before, and I will not let them do it again. I'm sick of it. So that's number one. And I was wrong, and I apologize to you guys. I know I messed up. I'm now coming back because I've seen this on the text line for the last couple of weeks. Kareem Hunt should be the number one running back for the Chiefs. And I've laughed and disregarded it and said, no, you're wrong. And I've given you all the stats to prove that you were wrong. But you know what? I did some work myself. And I just Googled it. I went on Pro Football Reference, and I looked at Kareem Hunt being back for the Chiefs, and I looked at Isaiah Pacheco being back for the Chiefs, and I think the numbers are going to surprise you a little bit. Kareem Hunt has 53 carries for 195 yards and 3 touchdowns. Isaiah Pacheco has 54 carries for 193 yards and no touchdowns. Now, Kareem Hunt is getting the goal line opportunities. Isaiah Pacheco is not getting the goal line opportunities. That's why one player is scoring the touchdown and the other player is not scoring the touchdowns. Neither one of them, I would say, has been very dynamic. Neither one of them have been great in the run game. But I got eyes. And it is obvious to me at this point. Isaiah Pacheco ain't got it, man. Isaiah Pacheco is not the same player that he was last year for the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought that the rest was going to be a positive. I thought that the time off, I wanted him to go to Costa Rica somewhere, wanted him to get a great steak, get a massage, stay off your feet, rest up. drink a protein shake, workout. I thought that we were going to get a new, improved version of Isaiah Pacheco. We didn't get any of those things. There was a point when I was watching the game that I thought to myself, I wouldn't give him the ball anymore today. They tried to establish Isaiah Pacheco early. They absolutely tried. They tried to get him the ball 2 of their first 3 plays. I think they score a touchdown on that opening drive if they go with Kareem Hunt over Isaiah Pacheco. They gave him the ball first after a big pass or a big return. Everybody's going crazy. Stadium's going crazy. They then give him the ball. Well, all right, it's 2nd and long. Then they try to throw it to him. It also didn't work. Nope. I know that the numbers say that they are close. I know the numbers say that they are identical. I'm not telling you that I think Kareem Hunt has been some dazzling running back with Kansas City, at least not recently. He's not been those things. The fact that their numbers are so close to one another, yet one player looks drastically better than the other one, should tell you how bad Isaiah Pacheco looks right now. He ain't got it. I have maintained this entire time, if there's 20 carries to give out, that I would give Isaiah Pacheco a bulk of those carries. I'm on the other side now. If there's 20 carries to be had on Sunday against Buffalo, 15 of them should go to Kareem Hunt and 5 of them should go to Isaiah Pacheco. This is not me saying that Isaiah Pacheco should be traded or he can't be on next year's team. I'm all for it. I don't care what you've done for the Chiefs in the past. What can you do in their potential next 2 games? That's all I care about at this point. The same way that Isaiah Pacheco took a grown man's job and we all patted him on the back when he took somebody else's job, well, how you lose her or how you get her is usually how you lose her. Somebody took your job. You got hurt. Somebody came in. They have performed better than you have. It's time to go to the bench. The Isaiah Pacheco that I think we'll get in August will be a different one. The Isaiah Pacheco that I think is there week 1 when hopefully they're raising another championship banner will be a different one than the one that they have. The Chiefs have potentially 3 weeks of football left. 1 for sure guaranteed. 2 games at a maximum left. The old Isaiah Pacheco ain't coming back in those 2 weeks. I don't think he exists right now. He had a significant leg injury, and maybe we all thought that he was going to come back a little fresher, a little different than what he is. It's over for the 2025 season with Isaiah Pacheco. And I felt that the Chiefs realized that in the second half. They went with Kareem Hunt, which was the better option. They went with Kareem Hunt. They tried Isaiah Pacheco early. It was not working. And, hey, we got to do something different. Isaiah, we love you. You know that. You know we love you. And next year, when you're healthy, you will get every opportunity to get your number 1 job back. I think he'll be back next year. But he doesn't have the burst. He doesn't have the explosiveness. You are not getting big plays in your running game right now with Isaiah Pacheco. You're not. You're not. You're not. So next year, Isaiah Pacheco, rest up. I don't even want you thinking about football for the next 90 days. In fact, you don't need to show up to any of the OTAs, no minicamp, no nothing. You don't need to be at any of these things. Stay off of that leg. Come back. It's the final year of your rookie contract. We want to see you get 1,000 yards. We want to help you get 1,000 yards. We want you to ball out. That's how I would handle it with Isaiah Pacheco. But at this point, giving the ball to Isaiah Pacheco, he is the worst skill position player you could give the ball to right now. If we go through all their other options and I tell you it's 2nd and 5, would you rather give the ball to player A or Isaiah Pacheco? You're going to choose player A more than you're going to choose Pacheco. And again, I love Pacheco. I really do. Honestly, I do. He's one of my favorite players on the team. He's been so fun to watch. He has been so critical to what they're doing. He looks cooked right now. He looks done. So that's over. You will not hear me debate it anymore on this show with you guys. If you have been on Team Kareem Hunt, I'm here telling you, please accept me. Join. I want to join you. Kareem Hunt is the number 1 running back for the Chiefs for the duration of this season, and we can have this conversation again come free agency and come the draft about what they need to do long-term at the position. But short-term, the same way that you had to make a difficult decision when it came to Joe Thuney and DJ Humphries, you had a plan, that plan didn't work, and you had to shift. They had a plan at running back. That plan is not working. They have a new plan. Their plan should be Kareem Hunt.
I wonder if the Chiefs' thought process here, and I'm not defending it, but I think the Chiefs' thought process here is, you mentioned neither back is dynamic right now. I think the Chiefs' hope is that the player more likely to get back to being dynamic is Isaiah Pacheco, and if they give him reps and chances, they can get back to that dynamic back. We all love Kareem Hunt. Mitch Holus, who'll be on the show in about half an hour, is the one who always says Kareem Hunt's the best in the league at 1st and 10 is always going to be 2nd or 6 or better because he is not taking a loss. On that 4th and 1 play, Kareem Hunt did not take a loss. He is good in those situations. But to turn 1st and 10 into a 17-yard gain, that person is still more likely to be Isaiah Pacheco. And I think the offensive minds over one head drive, their thought process, and we can argue if it's right or wrong, I think their thought process is if we're going to get a dynamic running game, it's coming from number 10. And there's a value in what Kareem Hunt is doing. But every once in a while, breaking off a 12-yard run is nice to see, and it doesn't feel like that 12-yard run is coming from Kareem Hunt.
I don't think that 12-yard run's coming from Isaiah Pacheco anymore. I hear what you're saying, and I think that was the case. I think the only reason that you can keep arguing about Isaiah Pacheco is track record. I don't think that player exists anymore. I really don't. I don't think he has any of the burst, any of the vision, any of the confidence. When was the last run that Isaiah Pacheco did that helped spark the team? Because I used to be a staple of his, right? It'd be 2nd and 2. He'd run past 6 guys. It'd be 1st and 10. He gets up. He starts shaking his hair, and everybody would feed off of that energy. When was the last time you saw that from Isaiah Pacheco? At this point, Rob, when do you trust him? Because you can't trust him on 3rd and 2. You don't trust him on 2nd and 2. When do you trust Isaiah Pacheco to give him the ball? 1st and 10? Well, I mean, we can go through since he's come back. I mean, this is the last month of games for Isaiah Pacheco. 13 carries for 32 yards, 9 for 26, 6 for 18. He came back after a complete rest. They tried. They gave him the ball early. 5 carries for 18 yards. He just looks slow. That Isaiah Pacheco that currently is playing for the Chiefs is not the one last year that played for them in the postseason. I'm sorry. It's not. He's done. That's it. He's done. Someone on the text line says, he's only been playing for 3 weeks. They only have 2 weeks left. This is not week 5. If this is week 5, sure, it'd be a different stance. They're about to play maybe the best team that has come into Arrowhead during this Patrick Mahomes run. I don't care about your feelings. Isaiah Pacheco, you'll be fine. You'll be back. You guys trust Isaiah Pacheco enough to give him the ball 12 times on Sunday? I don't. There's been no reason to trust him since he has come back. Why you should give him a lot of carries or a lot of opportunities. None, actually. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Why you would give him a lot of opportunities. I'm sorry, it's over for this season. You guys are big on yards per carry, right? Since he's come back, he hasn't had a game in which he's had better than 4 yards a carry. Giving Isaiah Pacheco the ball right now is turning 1st and 10 into 2nd and 8. I ain't interested in doing that. Do something else. Do something else. You want to know why the Chiefs' offense struggles at times? It's because they're trying to make fetch happen with Isaiah Pacheco. They tried it when he came back. They gave him 14 carries the first game he was back. They gave him 13, he was back. Those carries did not work. Then they started weaning him off of the carries. And ever since those 2 games, Rob, he got 14 carries against the Chargers. He got 55 yards. He got 13 carries against Cleveland. He got 32 yards. His carries have gone down every single game since then, 9, 6, and 5. I don't know if I'd give him a carry in the next game. Certainly not a lot of them. There is no room for feelings in this. I'm sorry. It's about who do you trust to give opportunities to, who do you not trust to give opportunities to. And at this point, I don't know what you're seeing from Isaiah Pacheco that's playing right now to trust him to give him the amount of usage that I think you would need to try to get him going. In order to get him going, you got to give him, 15, 20 carries? You giving that to him on Sunday? I'm not interested in doing that at all. I'm not interested in doing that. No thanks. You guys got it.
I mean, I agree with you. I think, especially at this juncture in the season, it can't be about contract. It can't be about the future. You got to play the best guys. You said earlier, we basically had this argument all last week, Tooney versus Humphreys. At a certain point, the idea of Pacheco, whose ceiling for this offense is still better than Kareem. I do believe that. It doesn't matter if the ceiling's better if you don't have a chance to hit the ceiling. At a certain point, whose basement is safer? That's the argument we're having. And you're right. Kareem Hunt's basement is just safer right now than Isaiah Pacheco. And that's, I think, the big play, considering they have a do or die game with the only team that beat them this season. I'm not counting that week 18 monstrosity. The one team that beat you, it's do or die on Sunday. You got to bring your best. And I don't think Isaiah Pacheco's their best, even if I think that one day he gives them a higher ceiling.
Yeah, no, and that one day again, and we don't got to go over it again. I'm not saying get rid of Isaiah Pacheco. I'm not saying Isaiah Pacheco's done. They're not cutting him at the end of the year. There's 1 year left on his deal. They got 2 games left this season. I'm interested in Isaiah Pacheco in August. I ain't interested in him in January. You're going to need to run the football effectively on Sunday. I'm in the month and a half since Isaiah Pacheco has been back. He's been back since Black Friday. It's Martin Luther King Day. He ain't shown me a reason to give him 10 carries on Sunday. So I'm sorry, you're out. You're out of the huddle. I'm temporarily removing him out of the circle of trust, just for now. You can come back, but right now you're out of my circle of trust. Somebody who is certainly out of the circle of trust is Mark Andrews. What was Mark Andrews doing? You know what I always say, Rob, about how life is knowing your own limitations, like knowing what you can and can't do? Can you tell me why Mark Andrews gets a first down? There's 3 Bills around, and for some reason, he starts to do some Madden juke moves that I've never seen Mark Andrews do before. I've never seen Mark Andrews left stick try to put a... Who do you think you are? Barry Sanders? Get your yards, get your first down, go to the ground. You live to play another down. Why is Mark Andrews catching the ball and he's trying to do some Dante Hall 2003 X Factor moves in the middle of the field? That's not your game. You don't practice that shot. I've never seen you practice that shot. Fumble. Just right in the middle of the field. Fumble. Mark, what are you doing, brother? Then at the end, even though I bet on Buffalo, and even though I told you guys Buffalo was going to win, I get no credit for that. I get it, Texan. No credit. That's fine. I'm getting credit for that. I was rooting for Lamar at the end. I wanted Lamar to at least take him down the field and convert the 2-point conversion. I was rooting for Lamar. I've seen the way you guys have been talking about Lamar, and especially on MLK Day, I was going to represent. I wanted him to do well. I was like, come on, man, we can do this. Prove the doubters wrong. Show you can win with your arm. And Lamar was dazzling. He was patient in the pocket. He was so good. Took him right down the field. Now, we don't know what would have happened. Maybe Josh Allen would have done the same thing. It was 1:33 left. So I don't make it seem like they for sure would have won the game. I don't know what would have happened. Then they go to the most reliable pass option that they have for the 2-point conversion. The most reliable one that they have. They didn't have Zay Flowers. I guess Rashad Bateman's fine, but I'm not drawing it up for him. Mark Andrews is going to be in the Baltimore Ravens Ring of Honor. He's a Baltimore Ravens Hall of Famer. He's been a great tight end. Everybody loves Mark Andrews. They throw it to him. He's wide open in the end zone. He plays hot potato. He caught that ball like you're playing catch with your 4-year-old. Like, what are you doing? I was so heartbroken to see the Ravens lose, how they lost. Now, it was a total team loss. I'm not putting all of that on Mark Andrews. Lamar had 2 turnovers in the game. The second fumble, I don't know what he was doing. It was like, he just laid the ball on the ground. He then threw that interception earlier that I don't know who the intended target was. It looked like the intended target was Taylor Rapp, who plays for the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens certainly did a lot of things to lose the game. But just to see the way that Mark Andrews went out yesterday, to see the way the Ravens went out, I can't lie, Rob. It really broke my spirit to see Lamar walk off the field a loser like that.
I think it broke Lamar, too. Like, I didn't pull the audio because there's no point in playing a Thursday audio clip that features 33 beeps on the radio. But you could tell the weight of coming up short is starting to really wear on him. And I know that he wore it in the post-game press conference. He says, we talk about this every year. It's the same stuff, da-da-da-da. But, man, we talk a lot. And I think with The Last Dance, people in that documentary talked about how losing to Mike starts to wear a mental toll. I wonder if there's a mental toll that Lamar Jackson is facing because he's always coming up short. Now, this one wasn't to Patrick Mahomes, but his playoff record is pedestrian. It just is. He might be the most dazzling regular season player we've ever seen. He has a chance to win a 3rd MVP this year. And there are people, smart football people, who think he should. Sean Barber, who comes on this show, says, yeah, he should be the MVP. And I probably think he's right. He should be the MVP. but you can't be dazzling in October and disappear in January and continue to get talked about like you're one of those dudes. And I think the weight of that is really, really seen by Lamar's post-game comments.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly can't remove yourself from the outside noise that is surrounding them. But I guess, and I know this isn't how we do, is the playoff conversation about Lamar a little bit unfair given, I mean, he was asked to do exactly what you ask quarterbacks to do. You're down 8 with a chance to tie this game and send the game to overtime. Go be special. Go be our quarterback, be our MVP, take us down the field and give us a chance. Lamar gave you a chance. He took you down the field. You scored a touchdown on the 2-point conversion. He hits your best pass catching option right in the hands, right in the chest. That wasn't a poorly thrown ball. You just expect your teammates to help you out in that scenario. Again, I'm not saying that Lamar is without blame or not in all of this. He certainly is. But Lamar played well enough to at least give the Ravens a chance to see if they could win that game or not, and they just didn't execute as a group. So the Ravens are going home, a place that they are very familiar with, certainly in the divisional round. I saw a stat that Lamar's 1-4 in the divisional round of his career, so not good for Lamar Jackson.
By the way, real quick, I know, like, that's not how we do it, Carrington, especially on this show. The guy who tells me all the time that we give Josh Allen more credit for losing to Patrick Mahomes than winning cannot come on here and tell me, well, Lamar did everything right, so let's credit him because one thing went wrong. If you're going to tell me...
I'm not crediting him. I'm just saying I'm not going to be like, oh, Lamar can't do it in the postseason. I saw Lamar do it in the postseason. The guy just dropped the ball.
So do we have that same stance for Josh Allen? Because earlier this year you told me he gets more credit for losing to Mahomes than ever winning. He hasn't won in the postseason. Do you think he gets the credit for the 13 seconds? From you. Yeah. Nationally, he does.
He was fine in the 13-second game. I mean, I guess my argument is they've played other postseason games other than the 13-second one. That ain't the only time they've played each other. In fact, they've played each other 2 other times in the postseason, and Josh wasn't good enough in those 2 games. He wasn't good enough the first time they played each other in the AFC Championship games where Diggs is watching the confetti drop. He wasn't good enough last year when they played him in the divisional round in his own house. So, yeah. Josh is not the reason they lost the 13-second game. He's certainly part of the reason that they lost those other playoff games. I want to make one point about the Commanders. This show deserves a lot of credit for keeping the Commanders alive. I've never wavered on the Commanders. My love for them has been steady and true for years now. And just know, if I saw something early, I'm like an A&R. I'm like a music rep. I heard a hit song, and I was like, you know what? You can go somewhere. I can make you the next Kelly Clarkson. I can make you the next American Idol. When I heard this song,
those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders.
I knew that we had something special with the Commanders. In the middle of the season, Rob, what did I tell you? I'm not Chiefs dot. I'm not Chargers dot. What did I tell you I was?
Commanders dot.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders.
I tried to tell you guys. Again, I don't get any credit on my own show. I don't know how this happens. Other people get credit on their shows. I don't get any credit on my show. Been telling you guys for years, come hop on this Commanders bandwagon with me. I never wavered from the Commanders. No credit. It's okay. It's all right. You know what? I will survive. I'm going to keep pushing. And one day, I'm going to get my own piece of the pie. I'm going to get that deluxe apartment in the sky. Coming up on the other side, we're going to play a special game. We got Mitch Holus coming up in 20 minutes. But before we do that, I want to play a special game. We're going to play Crybaby Olympics. We're going to go through all of the complaints that the Houston Texans made, and we're going to determine who we're giving the gold medal to. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
I'm Mitch Holus, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-514-1026 if you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns. Help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-514-1026 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-514-1026 to see if you qualify. That's 800-514-1026.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. Tonight, championship game in college football. Ohio State about an 8.5-point favorite against Notre Dame. Total in the game sitting about 46.5. And I think Ohio State's going to win this game, and I think Ohio State's going to win by double digits. Magical run to the championship game for Notre Dame, but this is an entirely different level of competition in Ohio State. I think Notre Dame has the better coach in this game, but Ohio State's talent is way superior to Notre Dame's. I think Ohio State wins this game by 10 or more points. So coming up tonight, let's take Ohio State minus the points against Notre Dame. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app and take your game to the next level with the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 5.25% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Where can you find an extensive line of Blue Demon welding supplies, filler, rods, and wire? Metal by the Foot, located in Casey and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Got a stalled car stopping that traffic southbound 35 at the exit to 87th Street and in North Kansas City. Kansas side, there's another stalled car, also slowing things down southbound 435 right at Leavenworth Road. Want more from your dealership? At Metro Ford, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Family owned, 10 minutes from downtown, packed with unbeatable value. Drive smarter only at Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's George Karlaftis. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
All right, coming up in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to be joined in studio by Mitch Holus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. He was there on Saturday. This segment on the podcast page is going to be very simply labeled the Crybaby Olympics. And there are a lot of contenders for that gold medal in the Crybaby Olympics. I hate to do this. I hate to put my guy Sean Pendergast. I hate to bring him to the stage. But Sean Pendergast, he has a spot in our Crybaby Olympics. So many tears coming from H-Town.
The stuff that Mahomes does to me, Carrington, is disgusting. That he does where he's got a pass out of bounds and he decides to tippy-toe back inside, slide down so he can draw an illegal, an unnecessary roughness penalty. The flop out of bounds. Like, I get it. Like, you guys have 3 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. I rooted for James Harden and defended him for years in Houston, so I kind of know the territory that we're in right now. You guys got the titles at least to show for it, but the level of bargaining that has to go on with a fan of a player that flops is tough. And I'm sure there's a ton of Kansas City fans right now listening to me say this, we don't really care. We win with the guy. We love the guy. And that's all well and good. I think it's wussy-ish stuff that Patrick Mahomes does, and I hope they legislate it the hell out of the game.
So that was Sean Pendergast. He just threw in the javelin toss in the Crybaby Olympics. He got a good score in Crybaby Olympics. He is not the only one out of H-Town coming out of Saturday crying about it. Oh, the officials, they're so mean. They didn't want to give us a chance. Now, I think this person is the gold medal favorite. I think this person is the Noah Lyles of the Crybaby Olympics. Let's listen to Will Anderson after the game.
We knew it was going to be us against the refs going into this game. And, I talked to you guys early this week. I was just saying, we got to go out there and we got to do us better. And, in some instances we didn't do that, in some instances we did. So we just got to keep going, man. Next offseason, get the guys together, man. And, everybody just coming together and just keep building that team chemistry and get past this hump.
We knew it was going to be us against the refs. We knew that coming into it. Okay. You guys didn't know that you were going to need more than 1 touchdown to win? You guys didn't know that you were going to need to be better on special teams? Did you guys talk about that? Because I saw Nico Remigio look like Devin Hester in 2005 against you guys. I saw Kai Fairbairn. He was killing parlays on Saturday. You guys didn't? Okay. Will Anderson, everybody, he is competing in the Crybaby Olympics. They knew coming into it, it was going to be them against the refs. It was going to be the Texans against everybody. Next up is Joe Mixon. He's got a chance to get the gold medal in Crybaby Olympics, too. It's going to be tough to beat my guy, Sean Pendergast, Will Anderson, who's going to make a lot of money playing football. Joe Mixon. I mean, you can't get away from the Chiefs. They beat you when you were in Cincinnati, and now they're beating you with Houston. It can't be fun.
Everybody know how it is playing up here. You can never leave it into the refs' hands, but I mean, the whole world see, man, like, what it is, bro. But it is what it is. You know, like I said, when it come down to it, you can't never leave it into the ref's hands, man, and things like that. But it's all good, though.
What does the whole world know? That you lost? I mean, that's what I know. What does the whole world know? That you guys didn't do enough to win the game? What does he mean this? The whole world knows. Oh, when you go to Arrowhead, you know. I don't know what you're talking about. Because the last time your team came in here when you were with Cincinnati, you got busted. You then got a new team. Said, I'm done running with the Bengals. I want to find a new team to lose to the Chiefs with. And you did just that. I mean, you lost twice in the regular season. You were losing with Cincinnati. I mean, what does the world know, Joe? I don't know what they know. That was Joe Mixon's effort in the Crybaby Olympics. A very good dive for him in Crybaby Olympics. You guys think that I'm done. No, I have more. This is how many people want to compete in Crybaby Olympics. It's like the 100 meter. It's not just 2 or 3 people that run. You got an entire racetrack of people that want to compete for the 100 meters. That's how many participants we have for Crybaby Olympics from the Houston Texans. That was Sean Pendergast, Joe Mixon, Will Anderson, CJ Stroud, the quarterback. He wants to enter the Olympics.
Yeah, those things are tough. I'm not going to go back and forth on what I thought was a call, what I thought wasn't a call, and, it's one of those things you kind of know what's up before you even walk in the arena. And we got to be better and just being accountable and sound. And, some things, I think we had a couple calls that weren't called that I'm begging for, but at the same time, it is what it is. I can't argue with the ref and at the same time play football. I got to go and do my job. So, I would say, it's definitely some things that I would question, but at the same time, they're the professionals. They're getting paid to be refs, and, they did ultimately their best. And, but, this kind of thing, it's us against the world, when you're playing in these type of environments and games.
It's us against the world. Well, the world won. I don't know what to tell you. The world won. The world's going to move on just fine. 60 million people are going to watch the Chiefs next week. 0 people will be watching the Texans next week. The world is a better place now with Houston eliminated from the playoffs. We knew, man, it was going to be us against the world, man. Okay. All right, CJ. Thanks for your effort in the Crybaby Olympics. We appreciate you competing. We have one more contestant come on down. We want to give everybody a chance to compete in Crybaby Olympics. I don't want to leave anybody out. This is the last one, D'Amico Ryans. This is the head coach. He's supposed to be preaching accountability. Why are you in Crybaby Olympics?
We knew going into this game, man, it was us versus everybody. Right? When I say everybody, it's everybody, all of whatever. Everybody, the naysayers, the doubt, right? Everybody.
Well, the naysayers were right. You lost. You know the best way to prove the naysayers wrong? Win. The naysayers were saying, no, you're not going to win, and you proved them correct. What are you talking about? Text line 913-586-7965. That is everybody that's going to compete in Crybaby Olympics today. We appreciate you guys taking time out of your very busy day. I know you guys are already on vacation. I'm sure you're at a plush suite somewhere. All-inclusive. I love the all-inclusive. Thank you for competing in Crybaby Olympics. Rob, now that you've heard all the contestants today, there were a couple more. You told me the audio wasn't even good. Those guys had foot faults. They couldn't even qualify for the Crybaby Olympics. Who are you giving the gold medal to? Who are we putting that gold medal around their neck to represent the Houston Texans as the biggest crybaby?
Joe Mixon. D'Amico Ryans tried to save it by adding that weird naysayers line in there. We know what he meant, but he at least tried to save it. Will Anderson and CJ Stroud talked at the end of their pieces of audio about, hey, we knew what it was, but they also then tried to pass it off like we weren't good enough. Joe Mixon made it sound like if the refs didn't make a couple questionable calls, the Texans would have walked out victorious. So Joe Mixon gets the gold.
Text line 913-586-7965. Let me know what you guys think. Who are you giving out the gold medal to in Crybaby Olympics? We had a lot of great contestants today. All in all, there should really be one overarching message. Do better. You weren't good enough. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Mitch Holus, his voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll get his thoughts on Saturday's win against Houston and look ahead to the game on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. It should be a great one. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Got a stalled car stopping that traffic southbound 35 at the exit to 87th Street and in North Kansas City. Kansas side, there's another stalled car also slowing things down southbound 435 right at Leavenworth Road. Want more from your dealership? At Metro Ford, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Family owned, 10 minutes from downtown, packed with unbeatable value. Drive smarter only at Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by the Missouri Air National Guard. Serve your community your way. Serve your country and build a brighter future with the Missouri Air National Guard. Top-notch training, tuition assistance, and bonuses up to $50,000. Missouri Air National Guard St. Joseph. Aim high. Find your path today. Go to ang.com/MO.
Men, the new year is here. And if you're like many of us, you're going to make a resolution to improve your health. But if you're feeling sluggish and low energy, if your sleep patterns are off, if you've been working out and aren't seeing the gains you used to see, making that resolution may not be so easy. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you're feeling the way I just described, we can likely help you with that resolution. Because those symptoms probably mean you're suffering with low testosterone. And at Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating this condition. With our low T protocols, if you're like most men, the change will astound you. You'll feel more energy and better mental clarity, your sleep will improve, your workouts will be better, and you'll likely find your sex drive goes up as well. So call us today and get treated for your low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Missouri sports fans, I've got good news. Underdog is available to play in your state. It's the best place to cash in all your takes during the playoffs. Which players are going to go off and which ones are ice cold. With over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won, Underdog makes it fun and easy to cash in on all of your favorite athletes. Whether you think they're going higher or lower, You can make those fire entries for a shot at real cash prizes all playoffs long. Underdog is the only champs platform that puts the power of cash in your hands. Now you can either keep it riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the place to play. Sign up now and deposit with promo code TAP, T-A-P-P, to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. And if you're in Missouri, you'll get an additional $50 in bonus cash when you play your first $5 entry. That's promo code TAP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in this state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. $10 deposit minimum. See UnderdogFantasy.com for terms and conditions. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Rob Site Ford. Non-commissioned staff, low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit robsite.com. 2025 is the year Rob Site Ford makes history. With non-commissioned sales staff, the lowest prices on brand new Fords, best trade-in values, and the biggest selection, we've got it all. Visit Rob Site Ford, the top-rated Ford dealership on Google. robsite.com.
You can listen to the play-by-play of the Chiefs and Bills AFC Championship game with Mitch, Danon, and Kling right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFMC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. As voice of Chiefs Kingdom, he's seen the lowest of lows and the highest of highs.
You can doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike the Chiefs. You can disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs.
Your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Here's Mitch Holus with CDOT on The Drive.
It is an honor. It is a privilege to be joined in studio by Mitch Holus. His appearance on the show is presented by Silverstein Eye Center. Achieve your best vision and experience outstanding patient care at Silverstein Eye Center, and by GEHA. They are a proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Mitch, it's got to be crazy for you to go so long in your career just hoping that the Chiefs can win one playoff game. Now they beat a playoff game at home. You're like, oh, we all expected to win that game and be in the AFC Championship game. It's got to never be old to knowing the stakes, single elimination, every play matters, to play better than the team, and no matter how you did it, you advance, and now you're 60 minutes away from going to another Super Bowl.
Not just another Super Bowl. In many ways, the most historic potential Super Bowl ever played. Maybe Super Bowl one, but if you got a shot at winning 3 in a row and nobody's ever done it, you're talking it would transcend the NFL. It's American sport. In this week's game, I would tell you, CDOT, we don't need hyperbole for this game. I got it. This is the biggest game in GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium history because no team has even been back to the Super Bowl to get a back-to-back-to-back. 3 other teams have been here. 76 Steelers, 90 49ers, 94 Cowboys. All 3 lost this game. If the Chiefs win this game, I'm telling you, like I said at the end of Super Bowl 58, Chiefs are writing they're having their own history class. This one's a whole nother level.
Mitch, I hate to disagree with you, but I at least want to get our disagreement out of the way early because you and I had a conversation about rest versus rust, and I told you that I was a little bit worried about the rust factor, that it's so much about routine and momentum and keeping that throughout the season. The Chiefs kind of press pause, understandably why they press pause. I think you could see it on Saturday. I think it took them a little bit to kind of get going. I think up until the big Kelce reception in which they scored a touchdown on the Kareem Hunt drive, I thought the offense looked like a team that had taken almost a month off.
Well, you know, you're wrong, but no, I'm teasing. Where I sensed it, not a lot, so we're going to disagree on most of it. But because it was so cold, when you hit like that, you're not going to hit any time like that game for those 23 days that you had. And I thought just because, and the Chiefs are physical, they're more physical to get credit for, but because it was so brittle and those hits, I sensed in the first quarter it was that way, and then once they settled in and kind of got those hits out of the way, it's almost like a first preseason game where you play the first team guys maybe 7 or 8 snaps just to feel the thud. I thought that might have been an adjustment waiting for 23 days, but after that, I was like, no. The rest is huge, and this is where I think this week it could pay off the most.
It kind of felt to me like a throwback Chiefs game where I understand things have changed now with Holmes, and he is, the ultimate football rock star. But I've always thought that Arrowhead really feeds off great pass rushers and great defense. Like if you were my age, you grew up with Neil Smith and Derek Thomas and guys who could get after the quarterback, and that's what usually brought people to their feet. Sure, the offense did their part. Didn't turn the football over. Kelce had another 100 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt great in short yardage. Like, this team won because their young pass rusher was unstoppable at times. And they won because they might have the best cornerback in the National Football League. And I thought the defense really energized the rest of the team. And I thought this was a game in which the offense really fed off the relentless nature of the defense and carried that to a win.
To get 8 sacks, obviously, is noteworthy. They were closing in on a record. Karlaftis was awesome. I mean, his motor is really unparalleled. But I did think, if you want to talk Russ versus rest, where the rest really paid off, didn't you sense it in the defensive front?
Absolutely.
Fresh legs. And you got everybody involved in the deal. Whether if they were getting a sack directly, Chris Jones got one, Felix Anudike-Uzomah got one, Omenahu got one, Turk Wharton got one. They were influencing somebody else to get the sack. And I thought the defensive front looked rested and ready and revved up, and they played that way.
I thought Spags did a great job, too. There became a point, probably the mid-third quarter until the end of the game, where I think the light kind of went on. Oh, these guys can't block us. Like, we can send as much pressure as we need to, and we feel confident enough on the back end with our cornerback room that we're just going to guess that we're going to send more people than you can blitz, and we're going to get there before Stroud can make a play, where it didn't even feel like the Chiefs are really disguising anything or really switching things up the final 15, 20 minutes of the game. We're going to get pressure on your quarterback, and we don't think you guys can beat it.
And, again, dialing up different pressures. I've seen Spags now for years. If you're playing poker with Spags, he isn't going to show your hand right away. He's going to wait. He'll save some stuff. And I think C.J. Stroud's really, really good. Of all the talk of all the quarterbacks, and I said this last week to you, and I'll emphasize it again, he and Jaden Daniels are the two guys that deserve most of the attention and discussion right now. Because between those two, they got – 4 playoff wins. And to get after Stroud like they did. Now, I understand, though, Tank Dell, they didn't have Stephon Diggs. But Mixon, ankle or no ankle, the adrenaline took over with him. He's a gamer and a veteran, and he came after the Chiefs. And Nico Collins is like watching Edwin Moses play football. That's like an Olympic 400-meter dude. I love his game. So to get Stroud off his game was a bigger deal than I think the Chiefs defense and Spags gets credit for. Because to me, Stroud, CJ is way ahead of where he is on the growth curve of other guys, tied with Jaden Daniels. He's a year behind him.
Yeah, I understand that Stroud is the losing quarterback and people aren't going to spend a lot of time talking about this. I came away impressed. I think really the sign of a good quarterback is how you perform when things aren't ideal. And it's not ideal for Houston right now. They don't have the offensive line to compete at this level. They don't have the weapons on the outside. I thought Stroud battled and did everything he could to keep them in the game. And ultimately, it was just other things that broke down for them. You can't miss 2 field goals, get an extra point blocked. You can't give the Chiefs basically 3 points to start the game with the Nico Remigio kick that puts the ball on the 30-yard line. You can't make all of the mistakes that Houston made and then think that you're going to go on the road and beat the Chiefs.
Or you can't take these young quarterbacks and just get them hammered. It really was the way Joe Burrow started his career. He got bludgeoned. And now Caleb Williams gets beat up. And second in sacks suffered this year was C.J. Stroud. And so maybe the Commanders are ahead of the game here where they're protected with Nick Allegretti, protecting Jaden Daniels a little bit better. But let's also give credit to the Chiefs special teamers. And Nico Remigio, we saw this a year ago in the OTAs, where he had the ability to be a very, very impactful returner. He's perfect for the new kickoff rules because he's going to get upfield. He's not as big as a Nile Davis, but he's not going to dance around. It's not dancing with the stars with him. And the other piece of this is Samaje Perine. I talk about him every week. That cat is so valuable. But then to get Ariza to get a punt down at the 7, you get Chanel blocks another field goal. Their coverage units were really good. Tommy Townsend had a bad day. But overall, that was an A grade from special teams. And so we can talk about Houston being deficient in that area, but we also at the same time need to talk about how good the Chiefs were in all 3 phases, and especially special teams. And at this level, this game Sunday, that could decide this game. A return, a block kick, a bad punt. One of the ways the Chiefs beat the Bills in the 3 playoff victories here was a bad punt. And so Yeah, all that comes into play, especially as you get to this level of game, man. It's way high. And I was just looking at, I know we're going off the track here. How crazy is that Andy Reid has been a head coach for 26 years? This is his 12th conference championship game. That's just stupid. He's been half of his career, he's coached in a championship game of his whatever conference he's in.
Right now, we're joined by Mitch Holus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. His appearances are brought to you by Silverstein Eye Center, also GEHA, a proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Mitch, maybe you can help me with something because you're somebody that talks to a lot of people in the league. You watch a lot of film. I know Travis Kelce is important to what the Chiefs do. You know that. I don't know if Houston knew that or not. Like, I'm sitting there watching how open Travis Kelce is. And if there is one player you cannot let going in the postseason, it is the guy who the only person who has been a better postseason pass catcher than him in the 100-year history of the league has been Jerry Rice. How is he so wide open routinely? That big catch that he had in the middle of the field in the second quarter, I saw a stat. It was the most open that he has ever been in the postseason. The closest defender was 9.8 yards on that play. He's then wide open on the touchdown play. It felt to me, to use a basketball analogy, that Houston was happy to let Kelce get their points, but then try to stop everybody else. Well, Juju's not going to be the difference in this game, or Hollywood Brown. How can you let Travis Kelce have 117 yards and 1 touchdown and just be wide open routinely in the middle of the field?
Well, first of all, Kelce has taken out Rice in the number of catches. He's got 172, and he's getting really close on touchdowns. I think it's 22-20, and he's getting really close on receiving yards in the postseason. We're not far from Kelce being the Triple Crown winner in NFL postseason history of all pass catchers. Not tight ends, everybody. And that's just playoff Kelce. Now, to answer your question, we kind of jump into this tonight with Coach. And we switch up the format on the show tonight. We got Coach, his reaction a little bit earlier. We kind of jump into that. I get his thoughts on Josh Allen. But it's just interesting the way that Coach has reacted on what he thinks of why Travis was so effective in that game. But we really need to understand that this is Scottie Pippen and Jordan. The fact that with Pat and with Kelce, there's so many option routes. There's so much sixth sense that if you're covering me on my right shoulder, it's going to the left shoulder, and Kelce knows it before Pat even throws it. I know that sounds crazy, but when you watch the video, you see it and you just pause and you shake your head. And then you see the other sideline like throw up their iPads, like, what are we supposed to do? And when the playoffs happen, it's like these guys go to another level. And for Kelce to just kind of do the right thing. But the other part of this, too, well, we'll get into it with Coach tonight. Other than 2019 with Tyreek, can you think of another time where Kelce's had more help around him? So this isn't only Pippen and what was the best Bulls team with those two of other guys?
96, yeah.
Okay, so who's on that team?
Yeah, Tony Kukoc, Rodman.
Thank you.
You know, all those guys, yeah.
That's what you got. You got more. Even though they didn't have big numbers the other day, if you don't respect Hollywood Brown or D-Hop only got one target or Xavier Worthy, if you don't respect those guys in the deep threat, then they're just running by you for 7 points. So I'm with you, like, well, let's just give Kelce his 20 points and 10 rebounds, except he'll get 32 and 14. And now you lose the game. That's just what we've got. And we're sitting here going into this game with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig on the same team.
I want to get your thoughts on the running back room. I love Isaiah Pacheco. I think we all love Isaiah Pacheco and feel the same way about him. There's just something a little bit different about the way that he's running right now. I don't see the same explosiveness that I saw last postseason, and I think we started to see the shift in the second half. I think the Chiefs really started to rely on Kareem Hunt and kind of trust him to bring the game home. I think he did that. I think moving forward, at least for the rest of this season, while Pacheco is maybe still potentially banged up, I think Kareem Hunt has turned into their number one running back, and they'll reevaluate the position in the offseason.
The biggest reason the Bills are in this game, in my opinion, one is Josh Allen has really adjusted his game, very similar to what Patrick did last year. Now, the reason I say that, the second big piece to me is the three-headed monster they've got at running back. With Cook, they added Davis, the rookie out of Kentucky, was like at 3 schools. And then you're throwing in Johnson, right? So I still think the discussion, if you're looking at Pacheco, is that you've got to look at the three-headed monster. It's so effective right now what the Chiefs have. Andy Reid has never had this, where he's got 3 guys that can all be effective at different times. This goes back to the 96 Bulls. All 3 of those guys can impact a game in a variety of ways. And Kareem's been a lifesaver in many ways, red zone machine, short yardage guy. It's what the Bills do. They get into 2nd and 4 and 3rd and 2. But don't just pop. Pacheco's got a big play in him somewhere coming up. Might be this week. But it's also with his injuries and other things. It's not like, okay, he's not just going to run out there and get 150 yards. So things are different right now. It could be different next season. But right now, it's effective as he taps out and the other 2 can come in and they just tap him back in there. I think it's awesome. I think it's a chance they have why they have a chance for a three-peat are those 3 guys in that running back room.
A lot has been made about the officiating from the game, at least certainly from the losing side of things. I think all 3 of the plays that are in question you have to look at a little bit differently. Let's start with the Will Anderson hit. I think the league has just told you that we're overly protective of quarterbacks. You cannot hit quarterbacks that way. Do not hit them below the knees. Do not hit them above the shoulder. If we think you did that, that is a penalty. When Mahomes is in the pocket or any quarterback is in the pocket, the league has told you we are going to protect quarterbacks in that scenario. I maybe want football to be what it was in the 90s and physical. That's not what it is in 2025. That is a penalty, in my opinion, on Will Anderson.
People are speaking out of both sides of their mouth. They want to plug in your old VHS tape and look at the big hits tape and go, man, that was awesome. Look at his head got knocked off. Or then we talk about concussion lawsuits. So this league, and to me, it's the Players Association as well. The other play where it looks like there's 2 guys that are targeting, they're trying to kill shot Pat. They run into each other, but you don't have to hit him to get called for targeting. And so we've seen this other ways. We saw the play on Chris Jones in the 22 season in the loss to the Colts. They don't lose that game if that play's not called. And you're like, woo, it's same thing. But to me, it balances out. The fact that the Texans were in there talking so much about the officiating means you're in their head before they even get on the field.
100%.
Bills aren't that way. You don't hear the Bills talking that way. And you don't hear Josh Allen talking that way. They're going to come in here and play. And so the fans might, and everybody goes nuts, but now it's turned into a narrative where people are looking past video and plays that would counteract their thought or at least balance it out, but we just ignore that. It's like politics. We'll ignore that part if it doesn't fit my narrative. So I think there's just more balance here than meets the eye, and people are just yakking about it.
That was the thing that stood out to me most about Houston. It wasn't just one player that did it. I don't know if it kind of reaches the level that it's at if it's just one player. It was their entire core leader. This would be like if Mahomes and Kelce and Pacheco and Chris Jones, all of them were complaining about the officials. That I'm with you. How they sound to me is a team that had this conversation before. Well, you know we got to beat the refs and the Chiefs. And the moment that something controversial didn't go their way, they were just going to hold that in their back pocket as a reason why they lost. No, you gave up 8 sacks. You gave up 7 points in special teams. You allowed the Chiefs to get a free 3 points because you gift drafted them a field goal in the very beginning of the game. Houston didn't make enough winning plays to me to win this game. That there is a conversation to have about how the league protects quarterbacks. I don't think that Houston is the right case study for that argument, though.
No, did Stroud didn't say anything, did he?
He did. I can play it for you if you want to hear.
That's all right.
Stroud complained about it too.
Okay. Well, if I'm D'Amico Ryans, the last day of school, which was Sunday for them, I address it by saying, guys, here's what we didn't do to win this game, and here's what we have to do next year to win this game, because they're going to be good. And that secondary they've got is really good. We didn't talk about them, but if you go into the offseason with the thought that we saw in all these reels, it puts them down 10 points going in. If you think that, just put that in the back of your head, that's a detriment. There was nothing where, I mean, if that becomes your modus operandi, that's not the way to win in the National Football League. Because, again, you said it, you condition yourself mentally to have an excuse or emotionally. And at the highest level, it doesn't work that way.
Do you have a Chiefs historical comparison? I'm sure that you do for what we saw yesterday with Mark Andrews. Like, Mark Andrews he is one of the greatest players in Ravens history. Like, their Ring of Honor, he is going to be in it. He has been a great player now for a decade, reliable. Everybody likes Mark Andrews. has the fumble in the middle of the field when you just got to get down in that scenario. You got as many yards as you're going to get. Go get down. The risk isn't worth the reward. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Then for the 2-point conversion, you're wide open. It's not the best throw I've ever seen, but he puts it right in your breadbasket with a chance for you to make a play. You drop it. That effectively ends the game. I felt heartbroken for Lamar, heartbroken for Mark Andrews, two guys that seem to do it the right way. Is there a Chiefs comparison that you've seen to kind of how that game ended last night in Baltimore?
Yeah, just thinking off the top of my head. First of all, I didn't think it was a bad throw at all from Lamar. When you get into the red zone, you talk to Pat every week. You ask him about him. The red zone throws have got to be belt high to low because God created our hands at the shoulder level basically or at our midsection. If I throw it low in the red zone, I prevent a pick unless the ball gets deflected up in the air. That ball's not going to get picked. It's going to be really hard for a defender to reach around and try to make that play on Andrews. I thought Lamar put the ball right where it was supposed to be. Now, it's a game, too, where you're trying to hang on to the greased pig at the county fair. That's the pick or the ball knocked out. Doing a deep dive into Buffalo, do you realize this is the reason they're in this game? Buffalo was plus 28 in the giveaway takeaway. They did not turn it over at all. They tied an all-time NFL record for only 8 giveaways. Josh Allen had them all, but only 6 picks, 2 lost fumbles. I know we're up against time. Defensively, these guys will rip it out, look for the chance after a gain of 10 or 12, and then they pop it out. Why? Because mentally I'm going, I got to make a play. 1 or 2, I feel really good about myself, and that's when my body lets down, and that's when and give Bernard credit, but that's when they came in and popped it out. I could sit there. They have 28 forced fumbles, CDOT, 28 of them, and 16 were recovered. That's the most in the league by far. So these guys are in this game. In many cases, one, they've been so efficient offensively. Josh Allen's been so efficient. But defensively, when you look at some of their other numbers, it's not very flattering. That game, the Ravens game, was a microcosm of the Buffalo season. Now, that being said, historically, I think of Bo not getting the second foot down in the 2013 game against the Colts. And I know he was, I don't know if he's fighting a broken toe or what. The other one that comes to mind, and I get heartbroken even talking about it, and I wasn't doing the games then, the Chiefs don't win Super Bowl IV without Jan Stenerud. He put them up 9-0. It was the same kick that Butker made last year at Baltimore. When Baltimore, who was hard, they weren't down 2 possessions all year. And they went down 17-7 before the half when Butt hit that field goal. It had way more of a psychological advantage on the Ravens than it should have had. So when Rian kicked that against the Vikings and it was 9-0, it was like being up 19-0. But then Jan missed the field goals against Miami in the longest game ever played. And I know it's difficult. I hate to even bring it up because I remember him for winning Super Bowl IV and being the first kicker in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But you're asking me where a prominent player at a moment that was significant had the struggle. My heart was sick for Mark Andrews because he has been such an awesome player and such a big piece of their success and such a part of Lamar Jackson's success to see. I just pray he's not defined by those 2 plays.
How incredible is it in your career? And you have seen some incredible games. You know, you were the voice of Montana Magic. To be in the middle of, this is the new Patriots and Colts rivalry. This is the new Manning and Brady. I saw a stat today. It blew my mind. The last 10 games between these two teams, the Chiefs and the Bills, each team has won 5. They have scored the same amount of points and allowed the same amount of points. You cannot be more even than that over a 10-game stretch. What is it like to be in the middle of that? We're way too early to start talking about keys, but just, to me, this is how it should be. Like the NFL, it just always wraps up so neatly with the storyline. The winner of the Bills and the Ravens, the 2 other best teams in the AFC. Hey, if you want to knock the Chiefs off their throne, you got to go to their building and you got to beat them and you got to prove in front of the world that you can beat Patrick Mahomes. This is the only way the AFC could end.
And I would even take it up a notch. This is the 4th time in the playoffs that Josh Allen's played Patrick Mahomes. Only one duo has more, 5, and that's Peyton Manning against Tom Brady. But I think this one's even bigger than any of those games. I'm just thinking when Brady won 6, 18 and 16, Manning's gone. 14, I'm trying to think what happened then to get him there. But you're talking something so incredibly historic on Sunday. If the Chiefs win this game, they've got a shot at doing something that's never, ever been done in the history of the National Football League. That is why, and if you're Buffalo and you win the game, you're going back to the show for the first time since losing 4 in a row, and they've never won the Super Bowl. So let's just take the 2 best gunslingers in the league, but then add all of these chips at the middle of the table. That's why I tell you the significance of this game historically, to me, is mind-blowing. And you've got these 2 quarterbacks going at it again. It's Ollie and Frazier in another fight where the stakes are bigger than any of the other fights before.
That was Mitch Holus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, joining us in the show. His appearance is presented by Silverstein Eye Center. Achieve your best vision and experience outstanding patient care. Also by GEHA, a proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe this is the last Chiefs Kingdom tonight, right? You guys doing it heading into
we got it next week, too.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure.
We'll be at Overland Park. We'll be
okay,
close.
my bad. I apologize.
And I'm hoping to get Jan Stenerud. And I didn't. And the reason is, if they win this game, they're going back to New Orleans. That's where Jan did his magic. And he is, and I know, and Landon got MVP and should have probably, but that defense was so good. But that game was Jan Stenerud's game, and he does not get enough credit for winning Super Bowl IV. But he can get some perspective about going back to New Orleans, and we'll do some reflection, hoping to get him. Tonight we got Dustin Colquitt. And so we're at Liberty. We're at Liberty Hy-Vee, so if people want to show up, and DC's in town, beat the drum, and did an awesome job. But he's also played in the AFC Championship game. Part of the show tonight is about this game and what it means and the level of this game. And then we'll talk again, we'll go over the historical significance, which is off the chart. Biggest game in this city's ever had.
Mitch, I hope we have you on for a couple more weeks as we get ready for the Super Bowl down in New Orleans. That's Mitch Holus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming up on the other side, Saturday was a perfect display of the past and the future of the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll explain. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down. 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
It's Century Roofing's 35th anniversary, and to celebrate, we're offering a free material upgrade with your roof replacement. Get a free upgrade from standard or premium shingles to impact-resistant shingles. These will boost your home's value and can lower your insurance premiums. Voted best in Johnson County 3 years in a row. We're KC-based and female-owned. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Book now. This deal won't last long.
Hey, it's Carrington here, and let me tell you about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. I love football season. I love snack season. So when you're eating chips, wings, or veggies, and you're looking for that perfect complement, look no further than Daisy French Onion Dip. And now they have a ranch dip, and I'm telling you, this is a game changer. These are as good as homemade dips with real herbs and spices and ingredients that you'd find in your own kitchen. So go try the Daisy French Onion Dip today. Trust me, you'll love it. You can find it at a grocery store near you.
Mitch Holus, the voice of the Chiefs, appears every week on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, Inc. GEHA is a proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state, back and forth, dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then, 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. Tonight, championship game in college football. Ohio State about an 8.5-point favorite against Notre Dame. Total in the game sitting about 46.5. And I think Ohio State's going to win this game, and I think Ohio State's going to win by double digits. Magical run to the championship game for Notre Dame, but this is an entirely different level of competition in Ohio State. I think Notre Dame has the better coach in this game, but Ohio State's talent is way superior to Notre Dame's. I think Ohio State wins this game by 10 or more points. So coming up tonight, let's take Ohio State minus the points against Notre Dame. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app and take your game to the next level with the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Casey's has 8 new coffee roasts that have been described as having rich aromatics that entice any palate. But, we're not sure what that means, so we just call it darn good coffee. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. Get a free any-size coffee with Casey's Rewards. See Casey's Rewards for details.
Hey, it's Karen with Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Ready to replace that roof? We have flexible financing options, 12 months same as cash, and don't make a payment for 90 days. And that's just one of many options we offer. Get on the schedule now with our in-house Consumer Credit Center. One call does it all for flexible payment options, affordability, and peace of mind. Visit shamrockroofer.com. That's shamrockroofer.com or call 1-866-932-3545 today.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Stalled car in the downtown loop, blocking the right lane of southbound 35 at westbound 70, and still have that one southbound 35 at 87th Street. That's the exit to 87th Street, also stopping traffic. Want more from your dealership? At Metro Ford, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Family owned, 10 minutes from downtown, packed with unbeatable value. Drive smarter only at Metro Ford. Online at kcmetroford.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Trent McDuffie. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, coming up in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to go through some Texans comments of them crying about the officials. I only get to bring out my sad text line voice, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times a year. I'm happy that I'll get the opportunity to do that for the first time in 2025. We'll do that coming up in just a bit. Rob, before we get back to the Chiefs, I want to read something to you. Mark Andrews' girlfriend, she had to turn off the social media comments on her Instagram. She had 20,000 comments after the game. I can only imagine the kind of tomfoolery that was going on in her Instagram comments after her boyfriend dropped that 2-point conversion. So just wanted to share that with you. Her name is Elena Yates, if you want to go on her Instagram for yourself and go check her out. But Mark Andrews' girlfriend said, you know what, these comments on the gram, I'm cool with them for a little bit. I don't want any part of them. All right, let's get back to the Chiefs. I have a very serious point that I would like to make to you guys, and how I think Saturday was the perfect display of the Chiefs' past and also the Chiefs' future. This is not a knock towards Travis Kelce. I think Travis Kelce will tell you that. Travis Kelce's time is coming to an end. He is still very productive. He had 117 yards, had a touchdown. He was magnificent. But he is not in the prime of his career anymore. The Chiefs still have a lot of guys who are contributing at a very high level who have been here a while. Travis Kelce played with Alex Smith. Chris Jones played with Alex Smith, guys still playing at a really, really high level. But that is not the future of the Kansas City Chiefs. Those guys are the past, and those guys are still here helping you, contributing towards winning a championship. We also got to see the future. The Chiefs are the perfect blend of those two things. We've seen a lot of organizations throughout professional sports not be able to sort of have that marriage between the two. The fact that Travis Kelce was a major contributor in the first Super Bowl and is still a major contributor in what could be their fifth Super Bowl is a testament to his health and how well he's played over the last decade or so, and the fact that they have been able to do it with the new cast of characters. A major reason of why the Chiefs are here is because they won the Tyreek Hill trade. And you saw that on Saturday against the Texans. Who played the best on defense? If you had to give out a game ball to anybody on the defense, Rob, who would you give it to? I imagine you would give it to George Karlaftis. They got that the same year that they traded Tyreek Hill. What's another reason why you think the Chiefs won that game? Why else did they play so well? It is because they quite possibly could have drafted the best cornerback in the National Football League. Trent McDuffie was amazing on Saturday. I want to give you guys a stat really quickly about Trent McDuffie. When you go to when McDuffie lined up against Nico Collins, and Nico Collins is the best corner or best wide receiver on that team, no question, we're not arguing it. Nico Collins ran 15 routes against Trent McDuffie. He had 1 catch on 3 targets for 24 yards. That's lockdown. That is their best up against your best, and Trent McDuffie won that pretty routinely on Saturday. The Chiefs won because they have been able to maintain the foundation that they had whenever Andy took over the job. Why Andy took over the job? Well, you got Chris Jones, you got Travis Kelce. It's not that the Chiefs didn't have talent when Andy Reid took over the job. They had some good talent at the top, and they needed a quarterback. Well, that's what I do. I make the most out of the quarterback position. You did that with Alex Smith. You then went into the draft. You went to go get Patrick Mahomes, and the rest is history. And the fact that they had a major decision, that's what it was, a major decision. What are we going to do? One of our stars, one of our key pieces is unhappy. We can try to make that player happy, or we can just move on from that player and let's make the most out of the assets that you get. They made the most out of those assets. You turned Tyreek Hill into George Karlaftis. You turned him into Nick Bolton. You turned him into Joshua Williams. You turned him into foundational pieces that have helped you carry this thing along. Saturday was what the Chiefs were in 2014. It's also what the Chiefs were in 2024. It is Travis Kelce and the new guys. And the new guys were major contributors to everything that the Chiefs did on Saturday. I want to read to you guys a quote from Kareem Hunt really quickly. The quote was, "I feel blessed. This is like a dream come true. Again, there is a lot unresolved from before, but I am happy to be able to write the rest of the story." It does feel good to see Kareem Hunt being such a good teammate to everybody, to see the excitement that everybody seems to have for Kareem Hunt, and to see him play well. I think most people in life have done something that they regret, that they wish they got a second chance to go back. Man, if I got another chance to do that, I would handle that so much differently than before. That comes with time, that comes with maturity, that comes with wisdom, and that just happens. Kareem Hunt got a second opportunity at what I'm guessing he would deem the biggest mistake of my life. I'm one of the best running backs in the National Football League. I got drunk and did something really, really stupid. I then lied about it. It got found out. I got kicked off the team that I really wanted to be on, and my career and life was uncertain for a period. Man, if I get another chance at redemption, if they ever give me that opportunity, I'm going to make the most out of that opportunity. It's hard to not cheer for Kareem Hunt given those circumstances. And when he scores the first touchdown of a playoff game and you see how excited he is, you see excited the team is for his success, you see everybody thrilled, and you see that he is a major part of what they're doing, it feels good. We went through the numbers earlier. The two running backs, Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, from a statistical standpoint, have been very, very even. But the eye test is there. Kareem Hunt's the best running back they have on this roster right now. And I think the Chiefs started to realize that in the second half of the game. I think they have been trying with Isaiah Pacheco. And I don't think Isaiah Pacheco is healthy enough at this point to do what they need him to do. And he might be that in August. He might be that in September. You get a chance to rest up. Maybe he has surgery again. I don't know all the medical stuff. But I do know the Isaiah Pacheco that we are currently watching play for the Kansas City Chiefs is not the same Isaiah Pacheco that has been playing the first 2 years of his career. It's not. It's not the same guy. He doesn't have the same burst, the same explosiveness. When was the last time that you felt like you got an angry run from Isaiah Pacheco where he ran somebody over and got up and was... I don't know if that Isaiah Pacheco plays for this team currently, but they do have this version of Kareem Hunt that is running expired, I think running hard, that seems to be a great teammate, that seems to be making the most out of his second chance. And for the first time this season, I am willing to acknowledge Isaiah Pacheco is not RB1 for this team right now. RB1 for this team is Kareem Hunt. I don't care what the numbers say. I know, oh man, Pacheco's been better yards per carry. It's more than that. I'm not seeing a burst. I'm not seeing explosiveness. I don't know if you're getting many big plays out of Isaiah Pacheco. And if you're telling me that you trust Kareem Hunt more on 2nd and 6, I do at this point. I trust him more on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. When exactly is the time to give the ball to Isaiah Pacheco? I think the Chiefs started to realize it in the second half of the game, the same way they did at left tackle. We had a plan, but an injury disrupted that plan, so now we got to go with the best option. It ain't personal, it's business. And I think the best business for the Chiefs to do is to continue to give the ball to Kareem Hunt and see what happens. Coming up on the other side, I will read to you tears from the Houston Texans. That's coming up. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Ad paid for by Anthem Tax Services. Attention, if you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-217-1316 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-217-1316. That's 800-217-1316. Again, 800-217-1316.
What's up, football fans? BetMGM is giving you the chance to win up to $250,000 in bonus bet credits. It's all part of BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot, where you could be able to split the grand prize with anyone else who bet on the longest touchdown of the week. Log into your BetMGM account today and opt into the promo. Then place an anytime touchdown wager of $10 or more on the player of your choice, up to one player per game. If your player scores the longest touchdown of the week, you'll win a share of the $250K in credits. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada. BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot subject to rules. See BetMGM.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. Subject to eligibility requirements, bonus bets are unrestricted rewards credits that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
GiveMeTheVin.com. Our expert buying team knows exotics, luxury cars, classics, diesels, lifted stuff, hot rods, inside and out. We buy them at GiveMeTheVin.com. It's a one-stop shop to get into a pool of absolute experts. Join my YouTube channel, John Clay Wolf. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call me America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. My team knows injury law. We can help you understand all of your legal rights so that you don't get cheated.
DM Law knew what to do and got me $150,000.
Mike's got this. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
At Metal by the Foot, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality metal to meet your exact needs. Located in Casey and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford online at KC. This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford online. This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford online at kcmetroford.com. Stalled car with the right lane closed of northbound 35 right at 7th Street Traffic Way. Traffic across the rest of the metro, though, moving smoothly. Westbound 70, 7 minutes from 65th to K7. Eastbound 70, 13 minutes from the Paseo to 470. Want more from your dealership? At Metro Ford, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Family owned, 10 minutes from downtown, packed with unbeatable value. Drive smarter only at Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. In the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Patrick Mahomes joins CDOT every week during the season, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, coming back at the top of the hour, we will get to the top stories of the day in Kansas City. We also had Mike Pereira on the show. He is the rules analyst for Fox Sports. We'll talk about the officiating in Saturday's game. This is the part of the show where I am going to read to you guys some of the comments on the Texans Reddit page. I went on there, and if the players and coaches are acting like crybabies, I mean, this is Will Anderson.
We knew it was going to be us against the refs going into this game. And, I talked to you guys early this week. And I was just saying, we got to go out there and we got to do us better. And, in some instances we didn't do that, in some instances we did. So we just got to keep going, man. Next offseason, get the guys together, man. And, everybody just coming together and just keep building that team chemistry and get past this hump.
I mean, if your star defensive player and your head coach is complaining about the officiating.
We knew going into this game, man, it was us versus everybody, right? When I say everybody, it's everybody, all of whatever. Everybody, the naysayers, the doubt, right? Everybody.
So that was some of the Houston Texans infrastructure complaining about the officiating. if that's the energy from the adults in the room, you know the kids on the internet are going to complain. Before we get to very serious things coming up at the top of the hour, I want to read to you some of my favorite comments in the Houston Texans Reddit page. Rob, hit me! This is from King Jeffrey on Reddit. For those of you that say the Texans should have just played better, blank off. We had more than 200 yards of total offense, more than them. But when the refs are against us, who can win? The better team did not win on Saturday. The refs decided who won that game. Another texter. We're reading through Texans pages. We can't control the refs. We have to do our best, but the refs gave us no chance to win. I hate the Chiefs. They always get away with this. Someone posted a clip of the Mahomes when he got pushed out of bounds, and he posted and said, when my kids grow up, I'll show them this was the Chiefs dynasty. A bunch of cheaters. This is from Burning Trees 2-5. I've never seen a fan base defend the referees so much. Chiefs fans are ridiculous. They have zero shame. All they care about is winning, even if it's tainted. Durr. The history books won't care about the shady refereeing. Trust me, everyone I know will always bring it up. Rob, you want some more? This is from King of 40 Acres. Mahomes is a prima donna. I hate him. The league is so fixed. They want Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift to go back to the Super Bowl. I won't even watch. This is from Texans Drill Bit. I don't even call it the NFL anymore. It's the National Football Entertainment League. Their script writers are working hard to keep their power couple in play so they can go to another Super Bowl. You've heard it here first. I used to cheer for this guy because I'm a Texas Tech alum, but now he's become unwatchable. I don't know how anybody can root for that guy. You want to know what being down bad is? Being down bad is seeing your team get eliminated from the postseason. And the best way for you to get over that is to hang out with other losers on Reddit and talk about how the officials forced you to lose the game. You can't be much more down bad than that. We've all been there before. We all handle losses in a very different way. You know what I like to do after my team loses? And I got great practice in this in my life when my team loses. I just take a shower and take a nap. You just got to go to bed. It doesn't matter what time your team loses. If your team loses the way that Houston loses, it's bedtime. It's bedtime. You just got to go to bed. I'm not getting on Reddit to get with another community of whiners and crybabies. What you guys didn't see is the guys also whine about it. That's what makes Patrick Mahomes and his entire family so unlikable. They were really going through it on this Texans Reddit page. I'm telling you, just hundreds of complaints. They're like breaking down the plays and showing you screenshots. You guys should go on there and check it out for the chuckles, for the laughs. Complaining about the officials is the free space of loser bingo. The Texans did not lose this game because of the officials. They lost this game because they're not good enough. Your quarterback got sacked 8 times. You guys missed 2 field goals. You had an extra point blocked. You gave up a big kick return to start the game to Nico Remillo. You did not lose this game because the officials have it out for you. You want me to believe that the league wants the 27th biggest market to win over the 4th biggest market? Doesn't make sense in any business. I don't know who would sign up for that. That's a very bad business model if that's the case. Way more people live in Houston, live in Kansas City. You guys weren't good enough. In fact, you guys have never been good enough. If we really sit back and think about it, I'm not really sure many times over the last 25 years that Houston has been better than Kansas City. I'm serious. I'm not sure if we can find way too many times. They've never been to the AFC Championship game. They obviously have never won a Super Bowl. They're not that team. They've had a good run these last couple of years. They've made a couple of playoff games. They've won playoff games, and their 2 playoff losses the last couple of years. One was to Baltimore, and the other one was to Kansas City. Some teams win 10 games and lose in the first round of the playoffs. Some teams win 13, 14 or more games and they win Super Bowls. We know what category the Houston Texans are in. Coming up on the other side, we'll get to the top stories of the day. We'll recap all of the action this weekend in the National Football League. And if you missed it, we caught up with Mike Pereira of Fox Sports to get his thoughts on the officiating from Sunday. That's all coming up. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford online at KC. This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford online. This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford online at kcmetroford.com. Stalled car with the right lane closed of northbound 35 right at 7th Street Traffic Way. Traffic across the rest of the metro, though, moving smoothly. Westbound 70, 7 minutes from 65th to K7. Eastbound 70, 13 minutes from the Paseo to 470. Want more from your dealership? At Metro Ford, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Family owned, 10 minutes from downtown, packed with unbeatable value. Drive smarter only at Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. In the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-514-1026 if you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns. Help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-514-1026 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-514-1026 to see if you qualify. That's 800-514-1026.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965. That's code 965 for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort.
Many people consider selling their homes independently to save on real estate commissions. While this might seem appealing, especially in today's market, independent sellers often overlook the significant financial benefits of working with a professional. Collaborating with an expert like Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty, can greatly enhance your profits and overall experience in the selling process. So contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. You can Google Dawn and her team at Sharp Homes Team or visit them at homesforsaleandkc.com.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. I appreciate you listening. It is The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 965thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Don't forget that you can stream the show online. All right, this is how I would like to kick off the 5 o'clock hour. I also want to play the best of Mike Pereira. He is the former vice president of officiating with the National Football League. He also is the current rules analyst for Fox Sports. You will see him for the NFC Championship game. You will see him for the Super Bowl. You know who Mike Pereira is. This is what upsets me about what happened on Saturday, and it has nothing to do with the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know why we have had these controversies surrounding the Chiefs so frequently over the last handful of years or so. On one side of the coin, I want you guys to wear all of the excuses that these teams have as a badge of honor. People only think this about a team when you're too good. Rob, do you remember that scene in the movie Hardball where the kid was pitching and the other coach came over there and was arguing that the kid should take his headphones off because it was a safety violation, and Keanu Reeves was like, no, you only want to do this because the kid's pitching too good. Remember that? That's what I feel like happens whenever you get to a point where you win so much and the other teams just get so frustrated because they do everything you are supposed to do to win. Hey, we got a good head coach. We got a quarterback. We got a good defense. Why can't we beat you? Whenever they run out of reasons and they can't just simply admit, oh, you're better than me. It's got to be the officials why one team keeps winning. It has to be. We did this same thing with the New England Patriots for 20, 25 years, and now all of that energy has been transferred from one team to the next. Houston had opportunities to make that game really interesting late. But they blew just about every single opportunity. And in none of the audio that we have played has there been a theme and a tone of, hey, that's a good football team over there. That's a really good football team. I understand why they've won as many games as they've won. That's who we aspire to be. So this offseason, I'm going to work my tail off to make sure that we're not in this position, that maybe we can host the Kansas City Chiefs, that maybe we can win this game. But we understand the amount of work that needs to go into it that we're going to put in, and we're going to be better for next season. I would respect that. But no, we got a series of excuses from the other team of, well, we knew going into it was going to be us against the world. I mean, you know when you play at Arrowhead, the officials, that's what losers do. This is the same thing we do to Kansas. Oh, well, you know when Allen, it's 8 against 5. No, you didn't do enough to win. You shot 31%. Your best player fouled out. He had 7 points and 5 rebounds. Don't put that on the officials. That's a you problem. You need to play better. I don't know why we have gotten so scared to tell people in our society, yo, be better. Houston, that's what I'm telling you. You didn't play well enough to win. And it's easy to point to, well, if this had happened, I would be, well, it didn't happen. What are you going to do about it then? That Will Anderson play, that didn't end the game. They kept playing. They played for another 51 minutes after that. You didn't do nothing. You scored 1 touchdown in the game. What are we arguing about? Don't be mad at the officials. Be mad at yourself. People are letting Houston off the hook for not being good enough. And that's not what sports is supposed to be. I saw Houston's quarterback, C.J. Stroud, get sacked 8 times. I saw on the most important play that they had all day, a 4th down that they were going to go for the middle of the field. I saw them be disorganized. I saw them be helter-skelter and break the huddle with 8 seconds to go. And the play shockingly didn't work because their quarterback got sacked. That's a you problem. You didn't execute. You didn't play well enough. Houston forgot to cover the greatest postseason wide receiver this side of Jerry Rice. He's just wide open in the middle of the field. You guys tell me how much film you watch. You guys watch the all 22 and you spend all day at the facility. The coach sleeps there. Your coach played defense in the league. How do you not cover number 87? You guys just didn't know, had no clue who Travis Kelce was. He just wide open in the middle of the field. Hey, Patrick, throw it to me. I'm open. Okay. I guess I'll catch it. I'll run with it. What? How did Travis Kelce bust you up for 117 yards and a touchdown? I'm not saying this to disrespect Travis Kelce in any way. It's not like he was making some supernatural plays against you guys like, hey, man, that boy good. No, he's wide open in the middle of the field. He was wide open on the touchdown. You guys just didn't want to cover him? That's not why you lost? Will Anderson, all the energy that you've spent complaining about the officials, you should have spent some of that time trying to cover number 87 in the red. I hear coaches tell me how important special teams is, and you got to play all 3 phases. Have you heard a football coach say that? They love to just say cliche things. Do you guys really feel that way? Because if you really feel that way on special teams, you missed 2 field goals, you missed an extra point, 1 got blocked, and you gave up a kick return that to kick off the game, the Chiefs scored 3 points in the first minute of the game. You then had a chance at the end of the game. It was 21-12? Was that the score? 21-12. Houston got the ball 3 straight times. Chiefs were done scoring for the day. They were done scoring. You had 3 possessions. Turnover on downs, a sack. You guys punted, and then you had a blocked field goal after a drive. You didn't do enough to win the game. I'm sorry. Be better next time. Put yourself in a position where you can make more plays than the Chiefs to win. The Chiefs didn't turn the football over. You committed more penalties than the Chiefs. What are we doing here? You lost. And that's just not the theme that I got from the Houston Texans. That's not the theme that I got from my dear friend Sean Pendergast when he came on this show.
The stuff that Mahomes does to me, Carrington, is disgusting. That he does where he's got a pass out of bounds and he decides to tippy-toe back inside, slide down so he can draw an illegal, an unnecessary roughness penalty. The flop out of bounds. Like, I get it. Like, you guys have 3 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. I rooted for James Harden and defended him for years in Houston, so I kind of know the territory that we're in right now. You guys got the titles at least to show for it, but the level of bargaining that has to go on with a fan of a player that flops is tough. And I'm sure there's a ton of Kansas City fans right now listening to me say this, we don't really care. We win with the guy. We love the guy. And that's all well and good. I think it's wussy-ish stuff that Patrick Mahomes does, and I hope they legislate it the hell out of the game.
I think the anger from the Houston Texans is simply misguided. I think it's misguided. I think their anger is directed at the league. I think the league has told you the importance of quarterbacks, and they've been telling us this for 20 years. We will protect quarterbacks. They are special. You ain't special. That's what they've been telling you. The quarterbacks are special. Tom Brady is special. Patrick Mahomes is special. You ain't special. That's what they've been telling you for 20 years. They've been telling you, you can't hit quarterbacks below the knees. You can't hit them above the shoulders. You hit the quarterback above the shoulders. They call it a penalty. Who are you mad at? Them or yourself? They've told you the rules going into it. You know quarterbacks get the protection in the pocket. D'Amico, you played in the league. You know this. You know you can't hit the quarterback of the opposition like that. You did it, and then you're mad they called a penalty? That's not the way the game works. Now, the second penalty, I'm going to be fair here. I thought Mahomes kind of baited him a little bit. I do. You guys know. I think they should ban feet first slides in the league. I don't think you should be able to do it. I think at this point, quarterbacks have gotten too mobile. I think they're too agile that once you pass the line of scrimmage, you have to be treated like all the other positions. That I'm fine with the league protecting quarterbacks in the pocket. I don't love it, but I understand it. Hey, if you were in the pocket and you are a passer, we're going to give you some different rules. I saw a play last week. Matthew Stafford had his head down, nobody around, just flings it. Oh, that's an incompletion. What to who? Who was he trying to throw it to? They protect quarterbacks and they give them all the grace in the pocket. And I've accepted that. That's fine. I don't think you should get that same grace when you decide to leave the pocket. When you leave the pocket, you got to be treated like everybody else. And the fact that the league has made it a point to treat one position differently than everybody else, I do think has created some confusion with defensive players. The play where Mahomes hits the ground and the 2 players hit each other and they call a penalty, that's an unfortunate penalty. I can't lie. I know we're here in Kansas City. I got to call the play how I saw it. I thought Mahomes could have went out of bounds. Mahomes probably should have went out of bounds. He kind of stepped and hesitated and then just went down, and I felt like he kind of baited him a little bit. The third one, you can be the biggest Chiefs fan in the world. Mahomes is more coordinated than he looked on that last play. He fell out of bounds like his shoes were tied together. He flew out of like Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. We can acknowledge that. But I do think that Texans fans are holding on to that play when nothing happened. They didn't call a penalty. The refs did exactly what you want the refs to do. Mahomes is inbounds. He gets pushed. He sells it, trying to get a penalty. That's what the offensive player should do in that scenario. The refs were smart enough to not call it, and football resumed. That's what the Chiefs are better at than everybody else in the league. The Chiefs are better at taking the things that happen in the game. We can't do anything about that. We're going to push forward. But I feel like what happened with Houston is they had it in their mind on Tuesday. Well, in order to beat Kansas City, we got to beat them and the officials. And then one thing didn't go in their favor in the game, and they mentally were done. They could always hold it in the back pocket. See, man, I told you the refs were going to do that. The refs don't want us to win. Okay. People really want me to believe that there's a conspiracy to make sure that Kansas City and Buffalo are in the AFC Championship game. Kansas City and Buffalo. When the other option are Houston and Baltimore. There's some conspiracy going on in the league to prop up Buffalo, New York, and Kansas City, Missouri. That's what people want me to believe. The NFL's rigged so that can happen. Okay. All right. Good luck. All right, I do want to play this for you guys, and you're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. Earlier today, we had on Mike Pereira. Mike Pereira is the former vice president of officiating in the National Football League. He also is the current rules analyst for Fox Sports. You will see him during the NFC Championship game. We asked him about the penalties in the game and wanted to get a neutral observer's thought, and certainly an expert. We asked him what he thought about the Will Anderson roughing call in the first half of Chiefs-Texans.
I don't like it. I understand the league saying they defend it. To me, it's one of those start eliminating. Is it late? No. Is it helmet contact? Maybe. Although, you don't see the head move. Does the head move? Mahomes' head move? To me, it is one that nothing is said if it's not called. And, they did put a fail-safe in this year. It's brand new, and it's an area that I think will be expanded on. If it's called for a hit to the head or neck area and there isn't any contact to the head or neck area, then replay can take it off. But there has to be zero contact. Zero. Makes no difference if it's forcible or not forcible. If there is that contact, any contact keeps replay out of it. But to me, you can see why it's called. I would just say this: if I was still in the league office, I would be saying the same thing. I could defend it, but then I would add it is not one that needs to be called, and that was my feeling about that one.
Mike, I feel like what's happened with roughing the passer is we've kind of turned it into block charge in basketball. You and I can be watching the same way. I think his feet was set. Somebody else thinks his feet wasn't set, and it's a 50-50 call either way. I do think that the league in some ways has become so overprotective of quarterbacks, and the reason I think that's a penalty is I think for the most part the league has said, we think this position is so valuable, you cannot hit this position, and if you hit a player high the way that I think Will Anderson hit Patrick Mahomes, I think more times than not they're going to throw a penalty on that play.
Well, I don't agree. I mean, obviously, I'd look at it, from my own perspective now, not having a bias because I don't longer work for the league. I don't want any play over officiated, and they talk about when in doubt, call the penalty. Well, they've taken that out when it comes to hits on defenseless players. That element of the game, whether it's illegal use of a helmet, there's no element of doubt. It is or it isn't. Now, there still is a bit of a mention about that when it comes to quarterbacks, but I think we got to be fair here. And again, I look at things, and I am somewhat guilty. I look at things from my perspective when I was grading the officials when I was there. Would I have downgraded this official if he didn't make that call? No. So therefore, I just don't think that it needs to be called. I worry about football becoming over officiated on all levels because it's gotten to the point where, we're calling things, and this is, of course, away from hits on quarterbacks, but non-safety related things, I feel like we're getting too technical of what we're calling. But in this one, I can see why. I mean, I get it, and I probably would have said the same thing. Defend it. I would have defended. But defend it doesn't mean you want to call. I mean, that's it. It is one of those where I think it could have easily been let go.
Right now, we're talking to Mike Pereira going through some of the penalties that were called in Saturday's matchup between the Chiefs and the Texans. Let's move to the second play. I do think here, I've had a stance that I think the league would be better off if they just eliminated the slide, because I thought what happened was Mahomes is kind of moving and he's unsure about what he wants to do. He could probably go out of bounds, but he's trying to get a couple extra yards. He then goes down, and I think you kind of put the defender in a bad spot. I want to see, as the position has gotten more mobile than it's ever become, I think eliminating the slide would kind of clear up some of these things. Hey, once you pass the line of scrimmage, you have to act like a running back. You have to act like a tight end, a wide receiver. You can obviously go down. Receivers give themselves up, but only one position slides. I think that would end some of the gray area that happens on these plays where a quarterback goes down too late, he gets hit, where there's only one position that routinely slides in that way.
And there's only one position that routinely slides in that way, as you say, although it applies to any runner, anybody with the ball. But I agree with you to a degree. I mean, I think that doesn't make a lot of sense. I agree to a degree. I think you have to eliminate the late slide. I mean, it's absolutely unfair to the defender, to me, unfair to the defender when there's not even that. I mean, that one is kind of a questionable slide to me, period. He's like just going down to protect himself without throwing feet first. But to me, I think there has to be protection for all runners when it comes to, hits to the head or neck area, and not just hits to the head or neck area, forcible hits to the neck area. And so I think if you want protection, you got to slide early. But if you're trying to get extra yards and you slide late, I think that protection is off unless somebody leads and gets you, in the head or neck area with their helmet. I have a hard time putting that play into the category of a foul because the two defenders go over the top. Is there some slight contact to the helmet? Yeah, a little bit with the face mat, maybe. A little bit with the forearm, maybe. But again, late slide like that, and late going down to protect yourself, defenders committed. I could defend it, I guess, but I know one thing I wouldn't want to call it.
Mike, you're one of the perfect people to ask this question. If we could kind of break down the rules and kind of start them over and build them foundationally, how do you think that we could find some of this consistency? Because I think we all, as NFL fans, consumers, we all want that level of consistency where you see a hit like happened against Patrick Mahomes, that gets called a penalty. Then you see the hit that happened in the game that you were on this weekend with Jared Goff, and then that doesn't get called. And I think it creates hold on, if that's a penalty for Kansas City, why is this not a penalty call for Detroit? That I do think fans have some questions about the consistency in which this is called. If you could just help simplify this, what were some suggestions that you would have to try to make this a process that is easier to understand for all of us?
Consistency is really a tough word. Look, I mean, when you're talking about 120 some odd officials and trying to get them to see everything the same, and to have their judgment be the same, that's virtually impossible. I mean, in 121 officials, there are some that are better than others, and there are some that see more and call more. I mean, it's a very difficult game to officiate, and again, I think we've taken all kinds of steps to try to add looks, different things, change mechanics, have this guy looking here, have this guy looking there. It's still never going to be that consistent. The best opportunity that I think is out there, which is so novel that nobody is really trying to do it except for the spring leagues. I think you need another official. I mean, I think it's time to think seriously about another official, a good official. Put him in a striped shirt, put him in the black pants with a white stripe down the side, and put him in a booth and make him a booth official. Call him the sky judge, whatever you want to call him, just like he's on the field. So if much like it happens often on the field, a block in the back is called, and another official on the field sees it from a different angle and comes over and says, I had that block on the side, and then they pick it up. Sky judge, with a quick look, replay look, and being able to do it very quickly. Let him make some of these decisions to make it more consistent. And they're getting so close to that. I mean, look what they're doing in, these hits to the quarterback and what they will end up doing with face masks next year. They're going to get more involved with the replay assistant and let him get involved in these decisions. I think you have a chance there. We've tried it a couple years in the UFL, the USFL before that, the XFL, same concept, and it has worked. I mean, it takes some of the officials, some of the officiating off the field, but still it's done by an official. It's done by an official who's essentially the member of a crew. So that's something I would like to see them do, but we'll never, even then it's still going to be human decisions, and we'll never get over the hysteria of protecting Tom Brady too much or protecting Patrick Mahomes too much, the different perceptions that, you're treating people differently. Hell, I'm telling you, the official, all he wants to do is make the correct call so that he gets the possibility to work a Super Bowl. They don't really care who wins or who loses. They just don't want to get that negative grade sheet on Wednesday. So that's part of the myths that float around that you protect somebody more than others. The fact is you just try to keep your butt from getting fired, which happens year in and year out in the league. And so you just have to try to elevate your game and make these calls the best you can. But I would also say that the one thing I'm more concerned about over officiating a game than I am under officiating.
That is Mike Pereira. He is the rules analyst with Fox Sports. You will see him during the NFC Championship game and also during the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is on Fox. What I heard there from Pereira, and we'll move on from this on the other side, is I think that fans want a level of consistency with the officiating that is just not possible. That you are not going to get 100%. Hey, every official is going to call at this time 100% of the situations. I do think that we are a little bit unrealistic in what we are asking officials to do. I do agree with him in some ways. I do think that we over-officiate the game. I think we see this all the time. It's going to happen later today in the national championship game with targeting. I think we're asking defensive players to, you got to tackle with your shoulder, but you got to keep your head. Hold on, you can't do both. How can you keep your head up and lower your shoulder while running? Try to run and do that, where you are keeping your head up and you're like, you can't do all of those things. I do think we're asking defensive players to do a lot. So to me, what we should be trying to do is simplify the rules and not make them more complex. But that had nothing to do with why Houston lost. They just lost. Kansas City was the better team. They executed better. They made fewer mistakes on Saturday, and they get to advance to the AFC Championship games. That's how sports works. Coming up on the other side, I have had an epiphany when it comes to the Chiefs. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Fellas, it's the new year, and for many of us, this is a time to reflect and make some positive changes in your life. And if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction and you're tired of the frustration and embarrassment that it causes, it's time to pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health. Resolve your ED today, and at Heartland Men's Health, they have treatments that work when all your other options have failed you. And with a success rate of over 90%, you can see instant result. Do you remember the first time that this happened? You thought it was going to be a one-time thing, but then it happened again and again. But that's perfectly fine because there is a cure. This is a treatable problem if you just pick up the phone and call my friends at Heartland Men's Health. They have successfully treated men's across the metro, and for just $100, you can get your initial visit, a medical consult, some tests, and a test dose. And if this doesn't work in the office, then your visit is on the house. So pick up the phone and change your life. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com with 3 locations around the metro to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now that the holidays are over, the cold weather's here, and the kids are back to their routines, we're loving Hy-Vee's Aisles Online. They make it so easy to get our groceries. All you have to do is download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you got to do is pick up your order or have it delivered to your home. And listen to this. Right now, you're going to get $10 off any $125 Aisles Online purchase. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
It's cold outside, and the cupboard is bare. No worries. Let Hy-Vee do the shopping. With Aisles Online, it's easy. Go to Hy-Vee.com, choose your store, select your items, and schedule a convenient pickup or delivery time. Right now, get $10 off any $125 Isles Online purchase. What could be better? We do the shopping and deliver your groceries. You stay warm and save money. Download the Isles Online app or go to Hy-Vee.com today.
Hey guys, it's Cody Tapp, and it's a new year, so time to keep that promise of getting your testosterone levels checked. If you're lacking energy, muscle mass, or have low libido, it could be low testosterone. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer, and nobody matches the experts at the Low T Center. People have different levels, so don't settle for the standard dosage. Get a personalized treatment plan at the Low T Center. And for current patients, Low T offers a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
If you're hearing this, you're in Chiefs Kingdom, the land of champions. And what do champions do? They win. Play the world champions Kansas City Chiefs instant ticket from the Kansas Lottery for a chance to win up to $75,000. Or enter your tickets into the Play On app for a chance to win one-of-a-kind Chiefs experiences. Because the only thing better than winning is winning again. See kslottery.com for details.
Good business owners believe two things. You have to provide what the customers want, and you have to keep the fire marshal happy. Pleasing the customer can be tough, but pleasing the fire marshal is easy. Keller Fire and Safety has been doing it for more than 70 years. Fire extinguishers, alarm systems, fire detection, kitchen hood suppression systems. Keller handles all of these so you can focus on business.
Keeping the fire marshal happy
Since 1950.
Keller Fire and Safety.
KellerFire.com.
Hey, it's Carrington here, and let me tell you about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. I love football season. I love snack season. So when you're eating chips, wings, or veggies, and you're looking for that perfect complement, look no further than Daisy French Onion Dip. And now they have a ranch dip, and I'm telling you, this is a game changer. These are as good as homemade dips with real herbs and spices and ingredients that you'd find in your own kitchen. So go try the Daisy French Onion Dip today. Trust me, you'll love it. You can find it at a grocery store near you.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunkt Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Two-car crash northbound 35 just before 435 on the Metro southwest side. Also looking at some debris in the roadway. Northbound 71 past 31st Street. That's stopping traffic. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson. 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's Justin Reed. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home of Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Welcome back into the show. Now, I don't want you guys to think that this is going to be a common behavior. And honestly, I'm not off to a good start in 2025. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little bit off my game. I feel great. Rob and I have never been better. The show has never been better. We are good. It's my fault. I got to take responsibility as the captain of this ship, as the leader now. I got to take more responsibility. I'm off my game a little bit. I had to apologize to you guys last week about the Chargers, and I'm still sick over it. You guys have called me Chargers.now for 4 or 5 years, and I've sat here and I've made excuses for the Chargers. Oh, man, you guys are just too tough on them. Wait till they get this coach. Oh, you guys are hating on Herbert. He's one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. I've been making a lot of excuses for the Chargers. They're losers. They're top-tier losers. And I told you guys, if you call me Chargers, I'm blocking you this postseason. Keep negativity away from me, Rob, and our families. I got to apologize something else to you guys. It makes me sick that I have to do this. You guys have been texting in for the last couple of weeks that Kareem Hunt was the best running back on the team. And I've been pushing back, and I've been arguing, and I've been fighting. I've been finding stats, and I've been trying to do all of these other things to prove to you guys that you're wrong. You guys are right. All right? Okay? You guys are right. I believe that the number one running back on the Chiefs should be Kareem Hunt. I don't know what is going on with Isaiah Pacheco. I think it's injury related. He just doesn't look the same. He is not as explosive. He is not nearly as effective as he used to be. For this season, it's over. I'm not saying that next season he can't come back and help. It's a long off season. It's a long time between the Super Bowl and they go to St. Joe to get healthy, to rest up, to get your confidence back, to get all of those things back. He doesn't run with the same power. He doesn't run with the same explosiveness. He's not certain in his movements the way that he was before. The Isaiah Pacheco that helped this team win the Super Bowl last year is not the one that currently plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think you are now faced with a decision. You can keep doing what has not been working, and what has not been working is giving the ball to Isaiah Pacheco. It doesn't work anymore. Certainly not the way that it used to work for this team. Isaiah Pacheco was a reliable playoff back just last season for this team. We can go through his game logs. The last month of the season, 13 carries for 32 yards, 9 carries for 26 yards, 6 carries for 18 yards, 5 carries for 18 yards. His touches have gone down in 5 consecutive games. The Chiefs are starting to see what I see. He just ain't got it. Now is not the time to play favorites. Now is not the time to be dealing with feelings. You can deal with that in the offseason. The goal of this is to win by any means necessary. And if that means you got to hurt some feelings along the way, I'm sorry. You can deal with it this offseason on vacation when you're sitting next to a Super Bowl ring. But I think the Chiefs are going to have to run the football effectively in order to beat Buffalo. That has been a theme in this postseason. You got to run the football. I'm not saying you got to run it the way that Philadelphia does, but you got to have a threat to run the football. And I just don't think that Isaiah Pacheco is that threat anymore. I really don't. I don't think he's that threat anymore. In the last 5 weeks, he has had one run over 10 yards. He's not that same Isaiah Pacheco that you remember. I think that's injury related. I'm not saying they should trade him this offseason. I'm not saying he's washed. I'm not saying any of those things. He had a significant injury early in the season. And sometimes I think that we expect when players have surgery and they come back, they're going to come back good as new and the same players that they were before the injury happened. That obviously has not happened with Isaiah Pacheco. He hasn't rushed for over 40 yards in a month. I'm not giving Isaiah Pacheco 12 carries on Sunday. I'm giving those carries to Kareem Hunt. He has been the better back. He has been the more explosive back. He has been the more consistent back. It is not close to me between the two if you've been watching these games. You know what I'm saying about Isaiah Pacheco is true. You got to be seeing what I'm seeing. You're smart. I know you are. You got to be seeing what I'm seeing. He ain't the same. This is not a we're getting rid of you. This is not a we're done with you. We're not throwing you away. We gotta put the best 22 guys out there. We got to put the best 53 guys out there, regardless of egos, to try to go win a Super Bowl. Hey, DJ Humphries, we had a plan for you to start at left tackle. That plan is not working. You got to play the background right now. You got to be the supportive teammate right now. And I know that stinks, but we got to do what we think is best for the team. I think the Chiefs figured out in the second half against Houston, the best thing for this team is to not continue to give Isaiah Pacheco carries. They got to give those carries to Kareem Hunt. So if they got 20 carries to give out on Sunday against Buffalo, I'm giving 13 of them to Kareem Hunt. I'm giving a sprinkle to Isaiah Pacheco. I'm giving a sprinkle to Samaje Perine, and that's it. But the better back, the most consistent back, the chance you got for a big play, Rob, I think that's with Kareem Hunt.
I don't disagree with you, but I think this is the conundrum Andy Reid has, because I don't think he can recatch that glory in the next 2 football games. I don't think over the next 3 weeks Isaiah Pacheco is going back the way he looked in 2022.
I agree.
I don't think that's coming. But I understand why the coaching staff is trying to refine that magic. Because, and Mitch Holus says a lot on the show, and obviously I have a lot of respect for Mitch. He says Kareem Hunt's the best at turning 1st and 10 into 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5. And there is absolutely value in that. You know, hey, it's not going to be a -1. It's not going to be just a he's stuffed up and gets 1 yard. He's going to be a bowling ball, and he's getting 3 or 4. That's coming. Good for Kareem Hunt. Everyone knows that's the path. The problem is Kareem Hunt doesn't have those 19, 20, 25-yard explosive plays. Isaiah Pacheco's the player that has that ability still. And I think Andy Reid knows what you and I know. Their running game is the opposite of dynamic. It is Tom Osborne in the 90s, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And if they are ever going to go get back to a dynamic run game, it is not going to be with Kareem Hunt getting 3.6 yards per carry. It's just not. They need a guy who can turn and burn and get 12, 13, 14, 15. And that, unfortunately and sadly, is just not Kareem Hunt. So it's a conundrum. I would lean just, hey, take the higher floor and be safe with Kareem Hunt. But I understand the allure to feel like, hey, the rest of the offense is healthy. For it to hit the next level, we have to get better Isaiah Pacheco.
No, and I understand that. They gave Isaiah Pacheco, I just did the math again. I wanted to double-check my numbers. They gave him the ball 5 times in the second half. Rob, they gave him the ball 5 times. Only one of those carries went for more than 4 yards. He had 3 of those carries went for 0 yards or -1 yards. I'm not telling you that I think Kareem Hunt is a great running back. I'm not telling you any of those things. He's better than Isaiah Pacheco is right now. And I think the only reason people are siding with Pacheco, and this is just track record history, we know the guy. And we all like Pacheco. Everyone feels the same about Isaiah Pacheco. I do not think it is working for the Chiefs. And for a game of this magnitude with the stakes as high as I'm going with sure things. That's it. I'm going with sure things. I'm going with what I know. That's what Buffalo's about to do. Buffalo has their run game figured out. They know who to run. They know. I'm going with sure things, and I just don't know if you can go into Sunday feeling like Isaiah Pacheco has been a sure thing. He has not been a sure thing since week 2 of the season against Cincinnati. That was a long time ago for Isaiah Pacheco. A long time. Since then, he has had 2 runs over 10 yards. That's a long time ago. I think the best back on this team is Kareem Hunt, and the best thing for them to do for the final 2 games of the season potentially is to really lean on the fact that of what they did early in the season. This offense was its best. This offense was flourishing when they relied on Kareem Hunt to carry the load. I think it's time to go back to that. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The college football season is coming to an end. We have the title game coming up. And right now, all customers on FanDuel can score a 30% live profit boost for Monday's game between Ohio State and Notre Dame. Here's how it works. You place a bet on the game, apply your profit boost, and enjoy boosted winnings when your bets hit. And the best part is you get paid instantly when you win. You can use your bets on what you like, point spread, player props, over-under, who scores the first touchdown, even how they score the first touchdown. Don't wait. Use this promo code, FanDuel.com/KFNZ. My promo code is KFNZ. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Who is the area's only dealer for Fronius professional welding equipment? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, Metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with autopay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without autopay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Let's talk about the buying experience at Lewisburg Ford.
It's the best anywhere. Just ask all our customers, Toby. It is hands down the best experience you can have buying a new car. We have the no-hassle Toby Tobin price that we've had for 35 years now. Nobody else can say that. We've been saving Kansas City thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of years.
I have been buying Ford cars and trucks from Lewisburg Ford for over 30 years, and I know personally this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck. Great prices, but there's a whole lot more than that.
It doesn't just stop at price, Toby.
No.
There's other factors to this equation, and it's trade-in allowance, financing, and the experience of how knowledgeable the people are that you're dealing with. And we surpass everybody in all those areas. We always have. We always will. That's why calling us is important.
Do you have that new pickup?
Absolutely. And it's dynamite.
Okay. Lewisburg Ford is your best place to buy a Ford car or truck. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford or LewisburgFord.com.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back.
I was coined almost Andy Reid when I was on a radio show, and it's stuck with me ever since. Renner Garage Door can help you not get stuck out in the cold this winter. Book your annual maintenance or get a free replacement quote today.
RENNER, RENNER.
The pro football playoff season is here, and there's one place to be. The BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM.
Your home for wagertainment, giving you the sharpest insights and bringing an expert guest analysis.
From point spreads to props, live betting to futures, BetQL has you covered every step of the way with wall-to-wall coverage on the road to the championship in New Orleans.
Listen live on the BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM on the free Odyssey app and twitch.tv/BetQL or YouTube at Odyssey Sports.
Tonight, expect a low of -3 with mostly clear skies.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals at super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Right lane closed for a stalled car, southbound 35, just past 435. And emergency vehicles in North Kansas City, southbound 35 at 435 on the right shoulder. Want more from your dealership? At Metro Ford, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Family owned, 10 minutes from downtown, packed with unbeatable value. Drive smarter only at Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Monday. We have a very busy show planned the next couple of days. I'm excited for this week. I know you guys are excited for this week. I didn't even think about it until Mitch Holus had said it. Mitch Holus says that he believes that Sunday is the biggest game ever at Arrowhead Stadium. We are certainly going to give the game the respect that it deserves. Before we get out of here, we did a little bit of this earlier, and I want to play it for those of you who are heading home. We called it the Crybaby Olympics. I want to play from you some of the cuts from some of the Texans that were just, the officials. I want you to hear it because it was egregious what we heard. Egregious what we heard from the Houston Texans. Here is Will Anderson, who played really, really well on Saturday. He is one of the biggest culprits.
We knew it was going to be us against the refs going into this game. And, I talked to you guys early this week. And I was just saying, we got to go out there and we got to do us better. And, in some instances we didn't do that, in some instances we did. So we just got to keep going, man. Next offseason, get the guys together, man. And, everybody just coming together and just keep building that team chemistry and get past this hump.
That was Will Anderson. I mean, we knew coming into it, man. We knew the officials, they weren't going to give us a chance. We knew they weren't going to be fair. Here's Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, he's a multiple-time loser offender. He was losing with Cincinnati. He then decided to join a new team to continue to lose to the Chiefs. Life must suck.
Everybody know how it is playing up here. You can never leave it into the refs' hands, but the whole world see, man, what it is, bro. But it is what it is. Like I said, when it comes down to it, you can't never leave it into the refs' hands, man, and things like that. But it's all good, though.
All right, Joe. You guys missed 2 kicks. It was 13-12. You guys had a chance to kick a field goal to take the lead. Your kicker missed. What are we doing here? They got another kick blocked. They left 7 points on the field just strictly by special teams. You can maybe even say that then they gave the Chiefs 3 points just because with the way the Chiefs offense was going early, I don't know if the Chiefs score on their opening drive if they don't get a kick return that puts the ball on the doorstep. But, the Chiefs won the special teams battle. The Texans did not win the special teams battle. Here's D'Amico Ryans. This is the head coach. This is the leader complaining about the officials.
We knew going into this game, man, it was us versus everybody. Right? When I say everybody, it's everybody. All of whatever. Everybody, the naysayers, the doubt, right? Everybody. We knew.
Okay. You knew, huh? You knew going into it what you were getting yourself into. That's loser energy, bro. There's no other way to put it. That's loser energy. Complaining about the officials is the free space on loser bingo. It's the free space. Your quarterback got sacked 8 times. You left 7 points on the field. The most pivotal play of the game, you guys broke the huddle with 8 seconds. You contributed greatly in your own demise. We got a lot planned over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, Patrick Mahomes will be on the show. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.